and listen. These are must-attend stem cell therapy educational seminars. You'll find solutions for your pain, along with cutting-edge information that could really help change the way you live. With seminars in Denver, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, and the far suburbs including Fort Collins, so you're just a short drive to one of their seminars on regenerative medicine. You need to attend one of these seminars. It could be a life-changing experience. Call 888-628-1899 to register for one of the upcoming seminars. For more information, visit stemcelltherapyforpain.com. That's stemcelltherapyforpain.com. Start living life once again. Call 888-628-1899 to register for one of the upcoming seminars. That's 888-628-1899.
Shaker cabinets are the new contemporary style cabinets that everyone wants. Hi, this is Courtney Pierce, president of Buy and Build Incorporated. We have 5 of the most popular colors for thousands less than our competitors. From the popular espresso finish to the hottest color going, bright white, which is in stock and now ready for immediate pickup. These cabinets are all wood boxes with hardwood fronts and no particle board, and our prices are the best in the nation. Visit our showroom at 4800 Washington Street, Denver, or online at buyandbuild.net. You will be thrilled with the thousands you save at Buy and Build.
Pat Miller, Gabby Gourmet. It's almost Mother's Day, and one special place to visit is the Divine Bistro Vendo. French, yes, with a perfect setting in Larimer Square. This Saturday, May 13th from 1 to 2 on 630 K.
Consumers Real Estate Show. That's right, a real estate show for consumers. All inside information to help you, the consumer. Every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 630 KHOW. The Consumers Real Estate Show, Saturday mornings at 8 on 630 KHOW.
Are you within 5 years of retirement? Hi, it's Money Editor Pat Woodard, and if you're like me, you've been thinking about the future. That's why I've signed up for a retirement workshop hosted by Hanson McLean. These are free 75-minute workshops held in Cherry Creek, Broomfield, Highlands Ranch, and Colorado Springs. You'll get answers to important questions like, can I afford to retire? How can I make money?
They're all saying, oh, you got to be on blocker and you got to keep your estrogen level low. Well, keep it too low.
Your future is important.
It's not going to be
so
good.
don't make
I'll find out. I'm taking 2 Nastors all week. I'll find out what it was. I know last time when I went to
Nastors
20 years.
An Nastors.
Retirement workshops are always free. There's no sales pitch around.
It's an oral pill.
Twice. What's the dose? And there's a live question and answer session.
I have it written down.
Hanson McLean Advisors.
I take it twice a week.
Fiduciary. So
I haven't checked. I just got my blood work back on the 11th. So what's the date today?
To see what all the fuss is about.
11. Okay. To me. And I did not. She didn't even mention estrogen, and I'm sure she checks for it. She should.
We can look on the break. You're probably
What's that?
So we can look.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling down.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe where we are solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, making your life a little easier. All you have to do is call. We urge you to check our Facebook page. Well, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. We also, of course, live on iHeartRadio across the country. We have a lot of iHeart downloads and live listens. You can always go to iHeart for any radio you want, any radio, music or talk in any city you want. So it's kind of like bringing your local hometown radio to you no matter where you move. Don't forget the iHeart Radio app on iTunes or the Play Store. And what you're going to find is a video that Mark is posting. We have the live show from yesterday, but we're condensing it into some of the highlights from yesterday when we had a guy on who we believe ripped off an elderly woman, Bentley Baths. He says he didn't, of course, and his reasoning is so crazy, I don't even like talking about it, but you know, he said because it was basically because it was a Medicaid job and they said she could use a walk-in tub, he specified a walk-in tub and said it's tough if she can't use it. He gave her a walk-in tub with an 8-inch lip. It was so small she couldn't even fit in it. It was ridiculous. It's almost comedic when you go look at it. Mark went and took some video.
Are you working your blood pressure up again?
Well, no, I just talked about this. It pissed me off that the guy ripped her off, and she got a $14,000 Medicaid grant, $14,000. He takes a good chunk of it with his stupid tub she can't even use, and he says, well, it's not my fault. The occupational therapist recommended it. Did you notice this guy? He could be a politician. He said, we looked into it. The occupational therapist recommended a walk-in tub, period. That's what they recommended, a walk-in tub. He was approved to put it in and get paid. They didn't specify the walk-in tub. They didn't specify anything. She was just approved for a walk-in tub. So Medicaid pays. Like some people are approved for wheelchairs, and some people are approved for crutches, and some people are approved for stair lifts and chair lifts. The point is, they don't specify the make model. They say, yeah, you're approved for this. Then he submits a bid to them, and they approve it. They don't say, she needs this tub. He does that. He goes out to the house and picks a tub for her. So he picks a tub. This woman literally can't move. She can't lift her feet more than an inch off the ground, or a half inch. She shuffles. He gets her a tub with an 8-inch lift, and not only that lip on the bottom, she can't fit through the opening. The opening is 18 inches, and how many inches is she? Like 60?
She's 68 almost in circumference.
But when you measured side to side, side to side, it was 18?
Yeah.
You mean that's if she's sideways?
Yes.
Yeah. And she couldn't fit through it.
No, and that comes up on the 12-inch part of the door. So it's 12 inches versus 18.
Okay. It's only 12-inch opening. She's 18. And then even if we hoisted her in the tub, she couldn't fit in the seat.
She couldn't close the door either if she got in the tub.
So she wouldn't be able to use water.
He acknowledged it was the wrong tub yesterday.
Yeah, but he made money on it, and that's all he cares about.
Of course.
Right now. So anyway, we have a tape of that, and then we also...
I got to say, though, the tape we're going to put up, and I can't put it up for about another hour. Wow, man, those F-bombs you dropped during the break.
But hold on, don't say that. That was just pure emotion. I got upset, okay?
I know it was.
I don't normally do that.
I thought Bentley was going to get up and leave. I got to give it to the man for sitting there.
Don't make it sound like he was the victim here.
Oh, he's no victim. This guy's a charlatan, in my opinion.
Okay, so anyway, we took care of that. Then Springs Auto and Truck Service Center, there's still bad news. Will not do anything for this guy. Ruined his engine. You ought to see the video on that, too.
Update, ready?
Yeah. We suing him?
Well, we're definitely doing that. Ryan's going to talk with the adjuster and the customer from the insurance company. I think they're going to do it over Mercedes, which is great. So hopefully we have an update early next week. So we may be able
to go directly to the insurance.
That's where Ryan's the smart guy. He's the attorney. He's in charge of this now.
He wants to do that before we file suit.
Well, he told the insurance company, simple as this. We're going to talk to you. If you don't want to do it, I'm filing suit. So let's get moving.
Did you tell him we want to sue Bentley?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
So, folks, we get directly involved. The only place you'll ever find this in the universe. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If you need help, if someone lied to you, cheated you, ripped you off, or if you need great referrals. You know, we do both with referralist.com. Today we have some guests on that we can talk about. If you'd like, you can give us a call. And the guests we have are from BioT. You've heard me doing commercials for BioT Medical, and as you know, I don't do commercials unless I really, truly either use the product or believe in the product for others, or have personal experience. BioTmedical.com, and he is here in the studio to talk. Dr. Donovitz. Well, what's your first name? Gary. Okay, Dr. Gary Donovitz. And next time you talk, Gary, if you could, Doctor, use that button and turn it on.
I got it, Gary.
So we were talking about testosterone and estradiol and estrogen and all of that. If you have any questions on that, if you're a guy, well, when do they actually start needing some supplementation, do you think?
For guys, usually in their mid-30s. Women in their mid-20s.
Is that when we start depleting already, in the 30s, mid-30s?
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about that. I always love to talk to people about hormone replacement because, and by the way, you really should never go to a clinic that just concentrates on one thing. Now, BioT is not a clinic. BioT is a system, and they affiliate with clinics. And the clinics that they affiliate with, these doctors, they don't just do testosterone. So they're family docs or they're doctors. And that's what I like. I would, if you walk into a place that only does testosterone, that's all you're ever going to get, and you're going to get a shot, and you're going to spike, and then you're going to drop, and then you're going to spike, and then you're going to drop. And if you do the creams, you're going to waste most of it on your sheets. Here's the point. I love this pellet implant. I really do. I really do. I definitely felt a difference. I was doing shots before, and my numbers are more even this way. 303-713-TALK. If you want to talk about testosterone or any part of hormones, because we also have other experts as well, I want to say something about hormone replacement. I talk to so many people who say it's not natural, and they're absolutely right. They say, no, I'm not gonna replace hormones because it's not natural. And they're right. Because what nature does is it depletes our hormones and we shrivel up and we die. That is nature. So when I hear people say they want a natural diet and they want natural aging, then they mean that they want to die early. That's what they mean, because nature has no reason to keep you around. As soon as you reach a certain age, you start depleting and dying. In fact, you're in maintenance and repair mode in your cells until you're a certain age, and then you're no more maintenance and repair. You're in the death mode. And the only reason that your body is in maintenance and repair is because you're getting ready for reproduction. That's what nature is doing, getting you ready for reproduction. Once those years are over, there's no need to keep you around. So if you want to go by nature, then you're crazy. In diet as well. What you need to do with your diet is trick your body and make it go into maintenance and repair. So we can talk about any part of health you want. You know it's a hobby with me, but I'd love to talk about BioT specifically, since he's here today. And he's the medical director, the founder. Are you the founder of this process? This
founder, CEO, and medical director.
Okay. And why did you decide to go with clinics around the country instead of opening up just these tea stores?
Right. So we really felt like we should partner with physicians and teach physicians how to optimize hormones for both men and women. And that way we could partner with their clinics. The thing of it is most physicians have a lot of patients already in their database that needed to be optimized on their hormones. So we thought it'd be great if we partnered with them, utilized their patients, rather than just opened up storefront offices and waited for the patients to come to us.
Why do you like pellet therapy?
Well, pellet therapy for me and for the patient is really the best way to optimize your hormones. With creams, you get these spikes every day. You got to put it on twice a day. As you say, you trash your sheets, you trash your clothes. But moreover, your hormones go up and down like a roller coaster. It's the same with pills. Your hormones go up and down like a roller coaster, and there's other problems with pills. Shots is the same. You have these big spikes, and then for 2 or 3 days you feel good, and then your hormones fall. So for the next 9 days you don't feel good, and then you want to take your shots every week or twice a week, and you're taking 100+ shots a year. With pellet therapy, you only have to do it 2 or 3 times a year to keep your hormones optimized.
Right. I do it about 3 times a year.
Perfect.
But that's what I love. I love the idea of it just sitting there, and then it uses itself up, and it's never spiking. Karen?
Yes.
What is your question, dear?
Is about if I don't have insurance, going to one of the BioT clinics.
They're not expensive. It's not expensive.
Right, but it's not an issue for the exam and the measuring of hormones.
Well, so the exam or the consult per se is going to be paid for by your insurance. If you don't have insurance, the consults are generally nominal, around $100 to $150. The lab work, if you have insurance, will also get paid by the insurance. If you don't have insurance, we have national contracts with the labs so that we can keep the pricing for the labs to you at a very small cost. The pellets in this area should be costing you around $350 per insertion for females. And so, again,
I mean, that's not expensive at all.
No,
I mean, if you do that twice a year, yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah, but
I'm not paying for insurance.
But even without insurance, it's not expensive at all. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're talking hardly anything. Yeah.
So an office visit and lab work, and then the pellets. So I'm talking like $600 or $700 without insurance.
What else if you have someone like Kaiser?
No, wait. Let's answer that question though. The lab work is how much? A couple $100 bucks.
A couple $100 or less.
Okay.
Your consult, most people are going to be $100, $150, and the pellets are $350. So, like you said, about $500 or $600 the first visit.
But then you don't keep paying. You don't keep paying for the consult after that. You just pay for the implant.
Correct.
Oh, good point.
You don't have to have labs every time. Although I do the first couple of times because I wanted to make sure I was level. Once you're level, there's no reason to keep doing blood work. I think everyone should do blood work anyway once a year, but
maybe one follow-up.
That's what we do. Yeah. We recommend blood work once a year for women 6 weeks after they get their pellets, and we want to make sure you're still optimized. If you are and your hormones all look good, then we do it once a year. There's no reason to spend a lot of money just repeating lab work. It's really based on how do you feel. Did we change your life? Were we able to get rid of your symptoms? And again, most of the time we can do that when we optimize your hormones. So we completely change your life, and you actually have a much better life on pellet therapy than you do off.
I'm glad that Karen's calling because
I love the concept.
I love Karen's calling because a lot of women don't believe they need testosterone. They don't understand the building block nature of it.
Well, women make more testosterone than they do estradiol, so they always think estrogen's their primary hormone. And estrogen's important. I mean, it does have 400 functions in the body, but testosterone also is important. It's very important for your skin. It's very important for your brain. If you want to reduce your risk for breast cancer, testosterone is the hormone that does that. It's the hormone that protects your heart.
Keep your weight down.
It's the hormone that gets rid of your weight.
The midlife bulge.
Right. It's the hormone that protects your bones. Why develop osteoporosis? You don't have to. Why start having this cognitive decline in your brain where your memory starts going in your 30s? You don't have to.
Time for a myth, by the way. He mentioned osteoporosis, and he mentioned, is that what you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Those of you who think calcium builds stronger bones, you're wasting your money taking calcium. Okay, we got more coming up.
So,
remind them about online, please.
At the Washington Street.
Oh, we're online on YouTube and Facebook.
South End West traffic 20th. Stop and go traffic back to 50.
Radio, just on
the
multi-car crash, breaks on the radio.
Down all the lanes
So
westbound.
your language can be a little
Santa Fe.
stuff.
And the ramp from northbound I-225 to westbound I-70. Very heavy traffic.
So they're watching online now.
They're
watching online now and they're listening.
They hear you talking right now.
Hello, everyone. Like I said, that's right. So here, this is when you talk, doctor, this is what shows up here. So this is your biology manner. You know, this is you. This doctor does this. So that's the phone number 877-992. Yeah, that's the phone number.
Miracle Grow, Ortho, and Roundup. And the local experts.
Can you look at 877-992-4683?
On everything you need in the helpful place. Want to know the secret that other roofing houses won't tell you?
Everything good?
Yep, everything's good.
More profitable than flipping
877-992-4683.
You're right. We're just testing you.
Wow, we got the banner right. We will show you how to put 10,000.
You sound surprised.
The last couple days, yep, it's a little surprising.
Oh, really?
A little surprising.
Oh, on your ad here or?
No, we're on TV.
Some marketing department. So I passed the test.
Nice to see when things show up right? There you go.
A series of one.
Change your life now and learn the art.
So are you guys in Denver?
I live in Denver. I live in Dallas. Javi.
It's time to
You guys didn't meet Javi. Javi is Dr. Donovan's executive. He travels with
sometime today.
It's very important. Gotta have an
individualized therapy, but you can't do it anything else. So we can individualize the dose. So really, it's more about each individual.
Oh, good.
Versus that here's some more.
Seems to be working
Seems
good.
to be working. We don't get that jerkiness like we were yesterday.
On the MP.
Yeah.
You can.
Well, we'll see. You know,
Second half hour, let's try a different one.
I liked your piece on
So we'll be after, during next break.
because a lot of people do.
We can
Oh,
stop
that's-
this nature without killing us.
Especially the folks living up in Boulder.
I want an unnatural diet. I want a diet.
And then the other thing is, are you plugged into a 3?
I would like to say this to folks. Do we age because we lose our hormones?
No, I
we
mean
lose
a
our hormones
USB 3.
because we age.
I think that is USB 3.
Oh, that's right. It's chicken and egg.
This is what we always did.
Okay,
So
that probably is it.
And it's happening younger and younger just because we have all these endocrine toxins in our world. Water, air, food, everything's packed in plastic, everything's got preservatives in it, everything's got junk in it. Didn't have that 50 years ago. Wheat and corn has been genetically modified for 40 years. We don't know what the effects of that are on our physiology. Chemicals.
We know it's not good.
But we can't prove it out, right? So we don't know exactly what it's doing. All we know is that we see men younger and younger and younger being testosterone deficient. You see women.
Suzanne, tell Daft to get on her instant message, please, and make these calls for me.
And up-to-date communications throughout the process. 720-895-0500. Take AIM as your local and trusted broker.
How many years you been
Just
doing
tell Daft to check her IM and make those calls for me. She's not dialed in.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
Mark, is that low? Well, that's not going to be uploaded for a while.
I still got to convert
Just keep your
the hour, and then yours is still uploading. It's crazy.
testosterone level when I was 44 years old.
We'll be able to do it after the show.
440, and that's totally normal. But today it's in the,
I had to take that full hour. It was so large because it was the hard drive HD
Doctor,
version.
yeah, Doctor.
440 wasn't what you were
Is
when you were 18,
Christian your
20, and 25. And you wind up in the
Yes. You have to educate on digital. You truly need to be digital. Testosterone is one of the #1 searches a man makes between the ages of 45 and 60 in all regions. And every time I talk about it, I can track it. And you guys don't show anywhere on the search
of the
page.
painter
So
destroying
you're
the house.
not doing digital.
There are like
properly.
40 pictures, so
Okay.
instead of downloading them all and
You need
emailing
to
them,
get into
I'm
those-
sharing them to
you need
Tom
to
Martino's
do
Facebook page.
specifically
profile. Is
account
that
all
okay?
40 for people
So,
who
it's
search.
not 40.
I don't know how
You don't
that
have
works.
everybody-
Is that bulk?
Everyone says
Does
they
that
know
bulk
how to
the
do it.
video
No
down
one knows how to do
40
it. There's
spots?
very few people that
No.
truly know it.
No,
So
it'll
what
be
I
an
find
album.
is a lot of
So maybe
athletes
look at it. Are
steer
you
away
logged
from it
in?
Because they
I'm
don't
going
know
to
how
share
to
it
do
now and look at
Or
it.
they don't know anyone.
So who's the expert?
Go.
People that, and this is not a pitch, I don't make shit.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Let's talk your problems, questions, complaints, and then we'll also talk to Dr. Gary Donovitz about BioT or about hormones. You want to ask any questions, he is well-rounded. And, the thing about hormone therapy and testosterone, it's not just for men. That's one message we wanted to get through. Tina has a question. Go ahead, Tina.
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
I've been doing the pellets since October of 14, and I love them. I mean, they have totally just changed a lot of things in my life. I had a bone density done last summer, and my hip stayed the same, but my spine increased 11%.
My bone density is like a 40-year-old, and my health, my energy, my stamina, people cannot believe it. Now, I will tell you, I have a healthy lifestyle, but when I met with Gunther, and he said, hey, have you ever heard of BioT? Would you consider doing commercial? I said, well, I'll try. He said, I don't want you to do anything unless you try it and love it. And I said, well, that's pretty ballsy. How do you know I'll like it? He says, you will. And I said, okay, but I'm going to tell the truth. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you. And he said, fine, I want you to do it. And so when I did it, I got to tell you, I truly, truly, truly noticed the difference. I mean, I absolutely, with all the healthy stuff I was doing, this was totally different. So it was wonderful. And Gunther, remember that conversation? Gunther does their advertising. And you asked nothing of me at all, zero. You said, I don't want you to do anything. In fact, I had trouble getting you to call me back after I loved it. I called you back and said, hey, I want to do those commercials, Gunther. I really love this stuff. And these guys were letting me do pellet therapy free for almost a year before they even bothered using me. And I said, I love this stuff. And truly, that was the conversation we had.
It was.
You said, just try it. That's all I want you to do is try it.
Because we never want to have to tell an endorser what to say.
And I would have told, like I just did stem cell right now, and I did it for a few minor things I have. And I keep saying, well, I haven't felt any different yet. There's no reduction or anything. And they said, that's fine. We want you to tell the truth because it works about 90% of the time. We want you to tell the truth. When it comes to pellet therapy, I just have to ask straight up, have there been people who say, I don't notice a difference?
Sure. So a couple things about pellet therapy. There's about 10% of people who do better in round 2. So I always have both men and women at least sign up so that they say, I'll be committed to do 2 rounds. So that may be every 5 months, every 4 months, every 3 months. But there's about 10%. If you look at everybody who ever gets pelleted, 95% of people stay on pellet therapy. That's the highest of any hormone replacement that's out there.
And I'll bet you the ones that don't.
There's about 5%.
They just don't care, maybe. Or maybe they don't notice, I don't know. Or they have other health problems.
They have other health problems, or they don't eat clean, or they don't exercise, or those people just don't respond because they don't absorb the hormones properly.
All right.
And it happens.
And it's not, by the way, a magic pellet. You know, like he said, they don't eat properly. Now, you'll still notice a difference no matter what. I mean, when you balance testosterone and estrogen, you will notice something. But it would be way better if you ate more healthy and moved a little. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, brother, I was just curious because I've actually used the pellet therapy. My doctor recommended it, and it worked amazing. And I felt great because I'm 34, and I had horrible numbers. She took my blood work, and I was sitting at about 350.
Yeah.
And she put that in there, and I went back 3 weeks later, got my blood work done, and I was sitting in the 1100s.
Now listen, you have to be careful when you're in the 200 or 300 or 400s. Here's why: a lot of doctors, they have their scale is based on your age, and watch out for doctors who say this: for your age, you're normal. You don't want to be normal for your age. I keep telling people that. If I wanted to be normal for my age, I would be an old fart. You don't want to be normal for your age. You want to be normal for a 40-year-old or whatever. And I mean that sincerely. There is no reason you have to accept the nature part of it. You don't have to accept it. So because there are doctors that would tell an older guy at 300 or 400, you're fine.
Yeah, we see that all the time. It's not just the number, it's what you're not protecting. At 300 or 400 on your testosterone, you're not protecting your heart. You're not reducing your risk for diabetes. You're not protecting your bones. You're not reducing your chances for Alzheimer's. You're not reducing your chances for aggressive prostate cancer.
Now tell me, what is the dangerous level of testosterone on the high side?
There really is not. It's not an upper limit because it depends.
But so many people are afraid. They say, wait a minute, you're too high.
Yeah, they don't know. So it's how do you feel? So some guys at 1,500 would feel great. Most for us, for the optimal range for BioT, we try to keep people between 900 and 1,100. Okay. If you're at 1,200 or 1,300, not a big deal, because in guys, you have a very wide, safe range. What could happen? Really nothing. If you get too high, you'll become aggressive. And that's not a good thing. So we really want to keep people in an optimal zone, not ramp them up. That's part of the problem with shots, is shots give you very high spikes in testosterone in the 3,000 range the next day.
Mark,
you don't want to be that high.
Mark, you going to do this what?
Maybe.
Why do you keep saying that? What seriously? What are you afraid
I don't know
of?
if I want pellets shot into my butt.
Why?
I don't know.
He's afraid.
My holdback is exactly that. There's no other holdback.
By the way, we're not talking about, when he said that, it sounds like a suppository. We're not talking that. It's a little tiny incision in the fatty part of your hip. Are you a chicken? Is that the only part you're a chicken?
Man, when we have chiropractors in here, do I get my back adjusted?
So are you afraid of needles?
Do I get needles shoved in my ear like you have? No, I don't do these things. I will consider.
Do you care about health?
Yes.
If you needed surgery, you wouldn't put... Okay, well, let's do it.
Maybe.
I will talk Gunther into covering it. I want you to do it.
How come you can't, honestly, why can't you do it in a pill form? Why isn't there a different way to do it?
Because it doesn't have a delivery.
There's no bioidentical. There's no human identical testosterone that's absorbed orally.
How about a patch, like a nicotine patch?
Yeah, they tried to make a testosterone patch. The problem was you couldn't get levels optimized and you couldn't keep them there, so they were swinging big roller coaster ride.
Got it.
Again, for you, it's only going to be done twice a year. It doesn't hurt, by the way. So I know you're worried, but it doesn't hurt.
So it doesn't hurt at all, Tom?
No, they give you a needle to numb it, right? And then they put it in. And no, it doesn't, Mark, but you got to get over that anyway. You're now a man, by the way. 303-713. You're not a little boy. We do have to take a break. Whole bunch of stuff going on. We're talking testosterone and pellet therapy and BioT, but you don't have to call about just that. I know Sharon's on the line right now, and Sharon, I do see you, and I am going to get to you about your painters. You say destroyed your house. Oh my goodness, I hope that's not true. 303-713-TALK is the number, 713-8255. And we have a lot happening here today. And what is today? Is today Thursday already? Okay. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. For your garage door people, don't ever get up and see a broken spring or something that doesn't work and say, who am I going to call? Remember, oneclearchoicedoors.com. You'll see all the prices there and everything you need to know about this great company. And I always joke, Chappie, because he's an ex-Marine or former Marine, that he runs it like the Marines. 303-565-6409. Nobody beats Buy and Build for below wholesale pricing on cabinets, countertops, sinks, toilets, faucets, and much, much more. All interior finish items. Give them a call or go see them. 303-295-6022, 4800 Washington Street. It's a big, ugly warehouse. Not big on frills, but big on the thrills of savings. Even contractors go there. Buy and Build beats big box prices every day. Buy and Build, 4800 Washington Street. 303-295-6022.
Welcome to Car Audio Corner, brought to you by Quality Auto Sound. This week's question comes from Cindy. Hi, Cindy. What's your question?
One of the carpool moms just bought a new SUV, and she goes on and on about how much safer her new vehicle is to drive compared to her last SUV.
No question. There have recently been many driver safety advancements made, Cindy.
I can't really afford a new car payment, so my question is, does Quality Auto Sound offer these types of driver safety features for my vehicle?
They certainly do, Cindy. In fact, Quality Auto Sound.
34. You look healthy.
I know, but I'm checking in with these guys. Listen, I'm paying attention.
Listen, if you take Viagra or Cialis, that's your first sign.
Tom, how old are you? I haven't had two yet.
63 and a half.
We tell people too, you took Viagra or Cialis, you've got a 1 in 6 shot of having a heart attack in the next 7 years.
Why is that? It does.
That's a study. No, but if you have blood vessel damage in the penis, you have it in You're only addressing
good point. Good point.
We can actually
Never
make
thought
that
of that.
I think we can make that on there.
It's a danger sign.
Yeah, it is a danger heart. What's that?
Like when you do the pellets, does it repair your heart?
Oh yeah.
Testosterone is the most protective. Shields, not repair as much as shields.
It actually gets rid of plaque. They've actually yes. So they increase blood flow. They've actually capped people and then put them on testosterone and recap them in the plaque.
That's what he says.
My teeth are cleaner, even. My teeth.
I have not seen any prediction.
Yeah, I'd love to see this card.
We don't usually bring a building inspector.
You introduced her. What is her name?
Hobby.
Hobby, what do you do?
I'm his executive assistant.
Oh, okay. I have one.
Keeps them out of trouble, they say.
I do.
That's why she travels with me. Keep me out of trouble. Keep me out of war.
So what are you doing here? Did you come in for us, or did you come in for fun? What did you come in for?
Came in for you, and then we have a doctor dinner tonight for new doctors that want to learn about this. And then tomorrow we have a TV show, and then...
What are you doing TV on? What are you doing? Which show?
Which show?
We both do.
What?
Colorado and Company?
Colorado and Company.
Yes.
And then tomorrow night we have a legacy dinner for our people who have done more than 1,000 patients. And we have a special dinner for them on Friday night. And Saturday, the big deal is we have a refresher training. So all the physicians in Colorado and around the area will spend about 7 hours doing this.
You know,
retraining.
Colorado and Company, daytime TV. You probably know this. The numbers aren't big, but...
Well, we were in Salt Lake City yesterday. We did a morning show in Salt Lake yesterday.
But it works sometimes. It really does. I mean,
we only do it maybe about 4 times a year in the market.
Yeah.
Because it's the same people that watch every day.
And also, you know what the raw numbers are? What do you think the raw numbers are? When I was astounded, because I did daytime TV for a while. I had a little show.
So Salt Lake, it's 25,000. That's what they said their viewers.
Well, they're full of shit. Okay, I'll tell you, you got to measure it by average quarter hour, because they're talking about their cum. A cum is how much they reach over the week, but who cares about that, or how much they reach during the show? But you're only on for one segment.
Right.
The show cum could vary. If you have, for example, 6,000 tuning in and out, you're going to cum at about 25,000, but you only have at any one time 4,000 to 6,000 watching. That's what they go. Our average, we kick ass. We kick TV's ass on quarter hours because we have a big quarter hour. Plus, we have a lot of cum. But don't ever let anyone sell you cum unless you're going to do frequency. Then, if they have a big cum and you do this throughout their week, you'll reach them all. But if you go on TV for one shot, those people have 6,500 people at any one time tops watching. Tops. But they'll tell you it's into the thousands, but it's not.
What we find is that the phone does start ringing.
At the 6,500 people, it could be 4 to 6,500 here. In Salt Lake, they're probably at 3,500 probably for an average quarter hour.
It's better though for the doctors because they get direct referrals. Where it comes into a problem is it's much better than using print media like magazines. Those for us are terrible. It's a waste of money.
I'll tell you, the search, what works is digital for searching and for social media engagement, but you have to know how to do it.
So
Otherwise,
we use the morning show segments to boost our social media.
Okay, can I say something else? That's the worst thing you can do with long form, because no one's going to watch more than 30 seconds. I'm just telling you from the business.
Clips. So
okay,
our
good.
department takes the
But actually what you should do is produce clips just for social. So here's what you say. Testosterone is killing your heart. And then he should go on and talk just one segment about how testosterone protects the heart. Just a quick thing. Then a quick thing on how it helps your sex life, and a quick thing on it does.
You're up. Laughed and I said, oh silly me, that's just me. Then I proceeded to brush some strangers' teeth, but they were my teeth.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Now, Sharon, some painters ruined your house, destroyed your house, right?
Yes.
I'll bet you they were not on pellet therapy. I'm just guessing. By the way, I want to be serious. How did they destroy your house?
Well, for one, I hired them to come in and paint it for me because I'm trying to sell it.
And who are the painters, Sharon?
Huh?
Who are the painters?
It's called Paint and Place and More.
Oh, Paint and Place. That's cute for people who are old. But the thing is tell me the problem. Is it a bad job, or did they?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. There's paint all over the vinyl.
Suzanne, what are you saying?
Hey, Tom, she shared her Facebook album of pictures that there were just so many of them. I just shared it on our page, Tom Martino's referral list. You guys can look at pictures.
But, what's the picture of this old stove? What does this have to do with anything?
Down. There's like 40 pictures.
Why did we?
They stood on top of the stove to paint and left mud on that stove.
How's the paint job itself? I'm not talking about the cleanup or the procedure, but how's the actual paint job itself?
It's terrible. There's paint all over
how much did you pay? How much did you pay them?
$5,000.
Okay, you should have gone on the referral list to begin with, but Sharon, I'm not going to punish you for that. Let's have one of our referral list painters give us an assessment.
Okay.
Okay, I need to know that you're not exaggerating before we go after this guy. What does it look like, Mark?
Man, they're very close-up shots, like around a plate, a light switch plate.
Steve the painter, he might be the wrong one to send.
It's not great.
I want to send Steve the painter, but he's a perfectionist, and he'll find fault in almost anything because he's just that way. But should we send Steve the painter or someone else? Who else? Mark?
He's fine.
Suzanne? Can you ask Steve? I know he's probably listening.
Oh, sure. No problem, Tom.
He's probably...
What kills me is when someone sends us a picture.
I got to find out what part of town you in, Sharon?
It's so little, it's crazy.
Sharon, what part of town you in?
Aurora.
Let's see if Steve, if you're listening, give us a call on the hotline. And if he's not, we'll find another... We have several painters. We have to get a professional opinion on this. Ken, welcome. What's happening, Ken?
Yes. Listen, I just had tests yesterday from my doctor. I don't know the result of them yet, but I talked to her about testosterone treatment. My son is a Special Forces Green Beret Master Sergeant, and he started testosterone treatment probably about 2 months ago, and called me telling me what he thought the benefits would be for me. I don't have a whole lot of energy.
How old are you?
I am 65.
Cool.
And he thinks that testosterone would be good for me.
Well, there's no doubt.
However, when I talked with my doctor told me this. She said, I actually have never put anyone on testosterone treatment.
Then you don't go to her for that. You don't go to a doctor that doesn't do it.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, she said I inherited 4 guys that are on testosterone treatment, and it seems to be working for them. But also I have a friend who's going in for heart surgery probably next week, and he has been on testosterone treatment, and he's telling me some of the side effects, and he believes that the side effects is why he's having to go in for heart surgery.
Okay, I'll let the doctor explain this, but Ken, listen. The guy that is going in for heart surgery was on testosterone therapy. I love when people say this. I'll bet you he also drank water.
Well, I'm sure he drinks water.
And I'll bet you he probably had some milk in his life. and maybe maybe some liquor. Okay, let's pick anything. So who's to say that contributed to his heart disease? And
well,
this,
I understand.
And please, here's what you got to do. Don't listen to people that don't know what they're talking about. Listen to people that do. So if your doctor's not familiar with it, talk to one that is. Talk to people that do research and research it yourself. Go out on the internet. There's plenty of information. Okay, but doctor, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this notion that I've heard over and over and over that, oh my goodness, you're on testosterone, it's going to ruin your heart.
Yeah, actually, it's the opposite. Testosterone is the most protective hormone for the heart. It increases blood flow to the heart. It gets rid of plaques, even if you have them, and it gets rid of inflammation that was the cause of the plaques to start with. It also will reduce your cholesterol. It will reduce your triglycerides and increase the good cholesterol. The fact that someone's going in for heart surgery who's on testosterone, that's the difference between association and causation.
Well,
sure, he's on testosterone, but something else.
Like gray hair is correlated. Gray hair is correlated with old age. If you dye your hair gray, you don't turn old. It's correlated. It's not caused, and people... listen, he has a problem with inflammation. He has a problem with not eating right. He has testosterone probably put off his heart surgery.
That's probably true. Okay. And for him, I would, after heart surgery, continue testosterone, not stop it, because it would be beneficial after surgery.
But here's the thing, Ken. Ken, when you said therapy, though, that is a big open term. Therapy means cream. Therapy means a cream or needles or injections. That doesn't necessarily... It's better than nothing, trust me, but you don't want the spikes and the valleys that come with it.
Well, it might not even be optimized. So if he was on androgel or Testum or something like that, so when people say he was on testosterone, I don't know what he was on.
And was he balancing himself?
And if you're on shots, shots can actually increase the substance. We don't really need to get into that substance, but it makes your platelets sticky. So if you have blood vessel disease in your heart, and you take shots, and you make your platelets sticky, you can actually give yourself a heart attack. Well, you don't have that with pellets. With pellets, there's no increased risk for that. So when you say there's this increased risk, the increased risk for males with pellets is minimal. You're going to reduce your sperm count. You may reduce your testicular size, varies about 10 or 15%, but really your side effects are minimal. That's the beauty of the pellet therapy. There is no increased risk in heart.
Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
Here. Because there's two medications that I'm on. One of them is for an injured back that I've got.
What's the medicine, though? What's the medicine?
I take Percocet.
Oh.
And then the other one is I'm on blood thinners. I take Coumadin. Does that affect?
No, there's no contraindication on Coumadin or on Percocet.
By the way, you will tolerate pain better. You're going to find your inflammation will be less, and you may not need as much pain pill. How many milligrams of Percocet are you taking a day?
I take 7.25 5 times a day.
And you've increased that over the years because you build up a tolerance, right?
Well, yeah, to a certain extent. I was on 5 times a day for probably 4 years, and probably for the last 2 I've been on 7.5. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, you could use more because you do build up a tolerance to it. But I seem to do okay at this.
Good. Try not to build up more because that's the problem. You build a tolerance. What is your So what is your? Have you ever? What is your back problem, by the way? What is it?
Well, I have 3 bulged discs in my back, and they put pressure on a nerve. Actually,
have you ever considered surgery to correct it?
Well, they tell me that it's not to the point for surgery, but my doctor's sending me in. I can't take cortisone.
Ken, listen, that cortisone is going to break down the joint. Listen, when they say it's not at a point of surgery, this is what's wrong with medicine. When they say it's not at a point of surgery, it actually is, because what they mean by at a point of surgery is when it is so bad that what they have to do is go in and fuse you, which is the most terrible thing you can do. And actually, if more people took care of their back in these minor stages and then did some stem cell and exercises, you will prevent what they call needing surgery. What they call needing surgery is way more acute.
than what should be done. Your bulging disc right now can be handled. In fact, you ought to try some stem cell therapy if it's limited to just a few discs. You really should try it. Or
Really?
you should, yeah, you should. You really should. Or you should try someone who would do a surgery for a minor surgery for that. Minimally invasive surgery for those discs and those joints and opening up the nerve roots. You know, it's amazing to me. Doctors, with the way insurance is now, doctors can't do surgeries like they used to. So they say you're not ready for surgery. What they mean is your insurance company is not ready to pay for it. That's truly what they mean. Honest to God, most medical decisions nowadays are being made by insurance. You know that. Do you know that?
No,
Do you hate the medical establishment as much as I do?
Yes, and I hate Big Pharma almost as much as I hate the medical establishment.
All right,
but you know, you're right. If he had stem cells or had microdiscectomy, his life would be better. He wouldn't be so disabled, and he wouldn't be on pain medicine.
Then he'd be able to exercise and maybe prevent that future surgery.
Correct.
That's the problem. I'm sorry, Drew. He's going to beat me up. I'm way over time. Go ahead.
Yeah, anybody on the opioids and pain pills, their testosterone is being crushed.
Everybody that's a chronic pain patient, almost all those people have MT. Everyone.
Yeah, because the opioids.
There are some tricks. There are some tricks for that.
Intermittent decompression.
With the laser guys, they advertise here a lot.
Yeah, you know what?
Laser spine guys.
They do all right, but they're a little bullshit too. But they do have a pretty good function.
It sounds like just a little.
He went downstairs to work on some web stuff, so I'm letting her use the headphones so she can hear what's going on.
Oh, she didn't even have that.
No,
Here you are right here.
we're setting out.
6:30. I showered this morning.
That's right. That's good. These questions are good. I mean, when you're getting in, I mean, people really do want to know. The myths out there.
I am floored that we're getting these many questions. Honest to God.
Oh, really?
No, I'm floored.
I think Larry North's show in Dallas, who's a bodybuilder guy, he's had a show for 30 years on KRLD. When I'm on there, it's amazing how many people won't ask their doctor, or their doctor doesn't know. That's a big problem.
That's another thing. Doctors know nothing about nutrition, and doctors know nothing about hormones.
That they don't teach it.
And doctors don't know much about
They're in their silo. Whatever they know, they know. But you know, to your point on stem cells, just because you don't know about it doesn't mean you shouldn't refer somebody to someone who does. In other words, saying, you know, maybe you're not ready for back fusion, but maybe you're ready to talk to somebody about stem cells, and I've got a guy to send you to. Well, between you tell them,
That's the overview.
you're not ready for surgery, here's the purpose
You in
of
the
it.
back there.
You're giving up on this. I don't get that. This is where healthcare's gone bad. That's what I call disease management. We're not really making people healthier.
Okay.
You're right. They're waiting till it's a 3-alarm fire, and you won't be able to walk again. Now we got to fuse you back.
Do you have high interest credit card
Then
debt
they
or student loans and feel like you will
it is.
never
It's
get ahead
insurance
with your
from
bills
healthcare.
given every month? Hi, this is Ross Kaminsky from my friends at American Financing.
I'm predisposed to prostate cancer. My grandparents had it, my dad had it, my uncles had it. I heard testosterone increases that.
That does
That's
not.
totally
That's bullshit.
Okay, it's a myth.
Just
Okay.
the
But that's the way
opposite.
they used to treat it.
That's an absolutely myth. Do you know how many articles that are out there that have ever shown testosterone cause prostate cancer? Zero. Zero.
By the way, my PSA is 1.
But actually, Morgenthaler, who's a Harvard professor, he's actually used testosterone because there are men who don't want to have surgery because of the complications of prostate surgery. And he's used testosterone, and in 54% of those guys, the tumor went away. So it doesn't cause prostate cancer. It doesn't cause it to grow, and it doesn't cause it to spread. That is all a myth. And a lot of guys who get prostate cancer are told you can never take testosterone again. That is also a myth. Because you're not going to die from the prostate cancer. You're going to die from something else, most likely.
Right, it's going to spread, yeah.
It's not spread. It's when you have low testosterone, you're going to die.
Most prostate cancers are low grade. And in fact, if your testosterone's high and you get prostate cancer, it's a better.
Very rarely does anyone
You get
die.
low T and you get prostate cancer.
Because they
Typically are more
therapy
aggressive.
of prostate cancer.
Exactly the opposite of what
Right?
people tell patients.
Because
It's sad.
if they take all the testosterone out of your body and they deprive you of testosterone, what's going to fail? Your heart, your cardiovascular system, your brain, Alzheimer's, dementia, bone loss, muscle loss, That's what's going to get you.
Well, I thought
Wrongful termination. Wow.
Dan, I would recommend it, but I like your feminine ways.
Thanks, Tom.
It's the same. Wrongful termination question? Wow. That should be interesting.
Yeah, because there's almost no such thing.
A good shutdown would help make this country's wallet great.
There's hardly ever a wrongful
It would
termination.
also make time for a nice
You should have been here yesterday.
play a little golf.
I should have been here yesterday.
I wasn't going to show up.
Your wallet great again.
Would have had a guy in
Shut down your radio.
Charlotte.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to start the business? Yeah. You are? That's great. I heard that show when you guys were talking about starting it on the air. That's great.
I'm going to get it to start. I want to be in it for a long time. I want somebody else to do it.
That's fantastic. I think
Walking talks for these elderly people because they keystone them every time. They're charging $16,000 minimum for them, and the cost, we looked into it. You could do everything, pay everybody, and be out the door for $4,000. So they mark them up to 16.
Just gouging.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. Now we're going to get back to anything you want to talk about, but a lot of people are asking about BioT, and I have people on talking about it from BioT. In fact, the founder, Dr. Gary Donovitz. And let's talk to Mike, and then I will take all your consumer calls, though, I promise you. Go ahead, Mike. What's happening?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know you were talking to me.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm curious about this. I had prostate cancer 20 years ago, and I was always under the impression that prostate cancer feeds on testosterone, and if you took external testosterone, wouldn't you be opening yourself up to more cancer?
Yeah, actually, that's just actually a myth and absolutely wrong. Testosterone does not cause prostate cancer.
How many studies do you think there are that show that, Mike?
I don't know, but all I know is that before they did the actual radiation on me, they used Lupon to reduce, to shut off the testosterone.
Right.
That's what they say. That's what feeds the cancer.
Yeah, it's absolutely just not true. There's not one article in the history of the medical literature that's ever shown that testosterone causes prostate cancer, causes it to spread, or causes it to grow.
Not one clinical study.
So actually, testosterone would be very protective. There's a Harvard professor who's actually using testosterone in men who have prostate cancer who do not want to have surgery for one reason or another. And in his study now, more than 54% of those tumors have gone and regressed completely. So it actually has become therapy, not something that aggravates the prostate cancer. So in your case, where you've been treated already, you absolutely could have testosterone, should have testosterone, and it would be protective to your brain and your heart, and it would give you a much better quality of life versus not being on testosterone.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's I'm a Kaiser member, and that's all they talked about was stay away from testosterone.
They're absolutely incorrect.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Mike, because there are people that also tell you that high cholesterol causes heart disease, and what can I tell you? High cholesterol tries to protect you because of the inflammation and the irritation in your blood vessels, and instead of attacking the inflammation, they attack the cholesterol. And I've said this before, it's like shooting firemen on the way to a fire and then claiming you're safe, when really they should put out the fire. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Ursula, what's going on with you?
Yes?
What's happening?
Oh, hi. I have a question.
Yeah.
My son needs some trees, so he went onto the website of the tree farm out of Highway 52.
Yeah.
And he saw our house, our landscaping on their website to promote their aspen trees.
Now, did they put the aspen trees in your home?
That I don't know. They were there when we bought the house in 1979. It is an older picture. I just wonder if they're allowed to do that with our permission.
So long as they don't invade your privacy or use your personal likeness?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they can do that?
Sure, they can take a picture of your house and use it. They can't say they built it. They can't say take credit for it. They can't say it's for sale. I mean, there's certain things they can't do, but the mere fact that they have a picture of your house,
yeah,
otherwise Google Earth would be sued all over the world.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with Google Earth, but since it is just our property
now,
and Aspen for their...
I would ask them if they did the trees, because it's kind of misleading.
Right.
I mean, so that would concern me, that part of it.
Oh, or could I even ask, since they use our picture, maybe give us a discount on the tree sale?
Yeah, you sure can. That's in fact, I would call them and say, who gave you permission to use our house? Maybe they don't know intellectual property law. You just say, who gave you permission? And they might get frightened and say, I don't mind you using my house, but I'm not even a customer. Don't you think it would be good to at least spiff us some material if you're going to use our house?
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
All right, thank you. 303-713-8255. Art, you held yesterday. What's going on, Art?
Hey, hi, Tom.
What's happening?
Colin. Well, I think I probably know the answer, but I had my pickup truck at a auto body shop, and they had it outside, got hit by hail on Monday, and I wondered, are they responsible for the hail damage?
Not unless they saw the hail coming and said, let's pull this truck out and see what happens. I mean, they didn't cause the hail. Seriously. Now, if they promised you they were going to keep it inside and they didn't, that would be a breach of contract. But if it just got damaged, it's not their fault. We got more coming up.
With PatriotSoftware.com.
Well, like I say, that's a good question. That's
You're exactly right on the cholesterol issue. That's what we preach and teach. In fact, in women, there's no studies that show that statins do anything in primary prevention.
Told me to pay or else.
But who knows that?
And statins actually hurt you.
100% increase in breast cancer.
And they hurt your heart muscle.
Never. And now, my successful company, breast cancer, Seattle, business owners with one refresher. Actually, it's in the regular. So you have no benefit. It messes with your brain, so you get cognitive decline, increases your risk for diabetes, gives you muscle aches for no benefit. Zero. There's not one study that's ever shown in women that statins do anything in primary prevention.
Well, by mistake, they did something. It was a small study, but it was by
that was
mistake.
Jupiter. The cholesterols were normal.
No, I know.
The inflammatory markers.
Right. And they helped with inflammatory. But that's like a baby aspirin. But it was by mistake that they got that credit.
McCabe says he will not update President Trump or White House officials on the status of the Russia investigation. He also vowed to inform lawmakers if he encounters
they're going to be all over this. This is a bad deal.
There's been no effort to impede our investigation to date. You cannot
If you had to write a book on what not
the
to
men and
do
women
as a
of the
leader
FBI for doing the right thing, protecting the American people, and upholding the Constitution.
McCabe making the
It has
pledge
nothing to do with his politics. It has to do with his personality
He was tapped to
and
run the
his
Bureau
mode of
after
operation.
President Trump
He just
fired
does
FBI Director
everything
James Comey this
wrong.
week. McCabe also rejected a
All
White
of
House
his
claim that
optics
many
are
people in the FBI
Everyone.
have lost faith in
He
Comey.
makes issues
The
where they don't
statue
have
of
to be.
Confederate President Jefferson
amazing
Davis will be relocated after workers in New Orleans took it down early today. Police
Because
blocked off the area as
really a
workers
shot
with helmets and
to get
bulletproof
someone
vests took the
who was
monument
an
off its
outsider
pedestal,
to
while
change
supporters and
Really?
opponents of
And he
the
could have done
removal
it
shouted at each
with
other. One New
decorum,
Orleans Confederate monument has already been removed.
could have really done it.
Even if you
No
investigate
injuries
this whole
reported
deal,
after
and even
two
if he
passenger
talked to
jets
Putin,
flipped wings
or
this
even if
morning
someone
at New
talked to
York's
Putin and he
LaGuardia
knew about
Airport.
it, they're not going to impeach him.
WestJet
To fire the
Airlines
head of
plane
the
coming
FBI
from
is a big
Toronto and a
freaking
Republic
deal.
Airline plane arriving from Louisville were
Just let
involved.
him do the
Both were
investigation.
booked on
What's the worst that could
taxiway
happen?
at
Find out that you
about
had some knowledge of Flynn's talking to
There is
him?
damage
Who cares?
reported to the two
We're not
aircraft, but it's
impeaching.
not clear how serious.
Well, hopefully
that is.
investigation
I don't
goes
even
on.
think there is any.
I don't either.
I
You
think
fire him, it
I
makes
think
you
he's
suspicious.
just pissed.
To Mars with
He
a
was
trip
just
to the moon.
pissed.
It's unveiled
He
a
does
plan
that.
that would send astronauts.
He needs anger management.
No, he's running it like his company. He's running it like his company.
Technology needed for a long
He might need
trip
some
to Mars.
testosterone.
The moon
There you
mission
go.
is scheduled to occur
Set him on
within the
bio
next
to you.
decade, with a trip to Mars possible sometime in
Send him a couple
2020.
colors. How old?
A NASA official
No,
unveiled
no,
a plan to
70,
the Equipment to Mars Summit
He looks
in
pretty
Washington, D.C.
No, I'm sure he's going to get help, but he makes very poor decisions.
Mostly sunny today with a
This couldn't have been well thought through.
mostly clear and low 44 tomorrow. Sunny on
Yeah, I'm not sure if you, like Kellyanne, she's a pretty smart, I think she's, she ran a thing, I don't know if she.
But he could have picked a worse freaking president. I mean, how do you do that?
Oh, that guy's good.
It's the best value to enjoy Colorado's outdoors in every season. Visit Colorado
And you
Parks
have
and
way too
Wildlife
many
today.
sound bites out there. You know, 2 weeks ago, yeah, I trust this guy. 2 weeks later, I don't trust this guy.
Contractors in the
He's
floor
all
covering
over the place with
business.
sound.
They
He gives
take the
too
money
much sound
and
bites.
never come through. But now here's the good news. Paradigm Interiors. The
Trump
flooring
70,
company I have been
Melania
recommending to
47.
all of my friends and neighbors now for superior products, services, and value. Tile, carpet, hardwood,
That's what keeps me
engineered
young.
laminates, which are
Keeps me young.
Except they don't sit
and
together.
fine. You'll find them all at Paradigm
He hasn't,
Interiors.
somebody said he hasn't been to New York, to Trump Tower, since the
You
election.
can call at 303
She lives at Trump Tower.
Yeah, we were, Bobby and I were by there a couple months ago, a month ago. Security is ridiculous.
They take care of it from
Yeah,
beginning
I
to
believe
end.
it.
303
Street along the sides, completely closed off. They have
Paradigm
concrete barrier.
Interiors, LLC.com. That's the website. Paradigm
The Thomas
Interiors,
got a month ago.
LLC.com.
Yeah.
303-630-9224.
Yeah, I'm sure it's costing the city quite a bit of money.
Tyler, when I wrote
How do you know when you're going back on, if they play music or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intro.
Yes.
I wanted to do more.
Yeah.
Plus I'm on a clock that's the same every day, but
Janie's Fund
I always
supports
go through
improvement
it.
programs for restoring lives rocked by abuse, conducted by national nonprofit youth villages. If someone you know is suffering from abuse, call the National Abuse Hotline at 1-800-422-4453.
Well, you guys don't get, you guys get hail and stuff up here?
Yep. Oh my God.
We just had hail, so when you have these bad storms and
One of the worst states for hail.
road roofers that come in,
Yeah,
I bet your
that's-
show just blows.
Yeah, that's
up.
what we
Yeah,
did.
they call these.
Afterwards, right. People taking money and running.
Yeah, we get that in Texas.
Carrie's car got destroyed.
Yeah.
I drove right into that hail on Tuesday.
So you're in the northwest part?
I was in Fort Collins coming
Okay.
down south, and then right at Youngfield and I-70, I said, get off the highway, we gotta find some cover, and couldn't get under an awning fast enough.
Lower your mortgage rate and payments? Well, wake up
The
to
big mall up there, Colorado Mills, they broke the glass on the top and it flooded.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
programs on the Get
They said they had up to tennis balls. Not every one.
Yeah, I was in, it was maybe an inch and a quarter. That's what I saw.
Yeah, it's
And
not
it was,
bad.
it was loud. I thought the glass was gonna break, but thankfully
But you did get dents then?
Oh yeah, the car got trashed.
Oh. Not even, probably won't be able to say it with that one.
No, they'll be able to say it. It was a white car, so.
We get one of like that where they find something probably.
What was it? A bug?
Bug called.
We get that a lot.
Yeah.
Product contamination.
Yeah. Some of them are just want to let them know, but most of them want.
Steve's husband's like,
5919. That's 303
you know, what happens in pellet therapy.
What she meant was she was going to kill her.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta say that though. Yeah, that's good.
Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of season water.
So do we have Olson that can answer too?
He's ready. I just didn't want to have him holding until you took her. You going to take her next?
Yeah, did Steve the painter call or did we call him?
We're going to give him a call here in a little bit. We got all our info.
Okay.
Visit Northern Colorado Euro Motorcycles in Fort Collins or online at coloradoeuro.com.
The other myth that's out there, everybody thinks that testosterone really makes you more aggressive, but as you know, being on this stuff, it calms you down, right? It makes
Two times it makes you aggressive. Too high, or if you drop your estradiol level to 0.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. All you have to do is give us a call. That's it. And we have some guests today. Mark Jones is on our referral list. Just stopped by to say hi. He's going to hang out for a while, just observing. We like to get new members on the referral list to come in and say hi, and he does home inspections in the Springs area.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Tom.
So, if you had to pick two things that you always find in home inspections, what would it be? Two things that are just, people just don't take care of.
Grading around the property.
Because it settles over the years. They never think of it.
They don't.
And you have to have a positive grade away from the property.
Yeah, probably the most common thing that I find that we don't get a lot of rain in Colorado, but when we do,
yeah,
that's when the problems
What
really
else?
come.
Grading and what else?
Just mainly garages. just people think they're Joe the handyman and do all sorts of crazy wiring.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
the
mess.
garage.
It's a mess, Tom.
So, you mean like they just alter the garage? Is that
They go to.
What about garage doors?
Yeah, garage doors and their functionality, absolutely.
Yeah.
But most of the time, people just get in there and go to Home Depot, buy all sorts of Romex, run crazy wires, throw in a couple welders, a heater,
or make a man cave or something.
Yeah, lots of safety issues up there.
303-713-TALK. We have a guest speaking about BioT. I have done BioT commercials for a while now, and I've been on it for a year. And I love the therapy, and I love doing the commercials because I truly believe it and can talk about it. So we have the founder and the director and the chief bottle washer, Dr. Gary Donovitz. He's here, and he's answering all kinds of questions, more than I thought we'd have, and we have more, and we'll get to them, okay? 303-713-TALK. But right now, we had our employment attorney on yesterday, Sean Olson, and Mildred, she must have been listening or not, but we do have a question on wrongful termination. And Mildred.
Yes, Tom.
Yesterday, when Sean Olson was on the show, you know what we said? There are things we hear about all the time. One is wrongful termination. Another one is something called nepotism. And another one is something called hostile work environment. And those three things hardly ever exist when people call them out. And I just want to caution you, there's hardly ever a wrongful termination in a state where you're at will. Meaning that an employer can fire you, even if he wants to hire his brother-in-law. What was your case, Mildred?
Okay, no, this is for my husband. He wasn't terminated. The company sold while he was off. Doctor gave him a release.
Why was he off? Was it a workers' comp claim?
No, he was. He had knee surgery.
Okay.
And then he developed staph. And
so he was on some kind of medical leave or sick days or what?
Well, the doctor just sent a letter over to his job saying that he couldn't work.
But he wasn't getting paid for this time off, was he?
No.
Okay. So what is your question?
My question is, why can he not get job-attached unemployment?
Are they refusing to give him unemployment?
Yeah.
I think they're saying that he voluntarily left. Now, but first I want to know something. The new company that bought his company, did they fire him?
No, they have his job waiting. They said as soon as he's able to come back, he can come back.
Well, then he shouldn't get unemployment because he's not unemployed. Unemployment isn't paid leave. Unemployment is when you're between jobs. He's not. Sean, am I missing something? Sean Olson, let me bring him up. Let him weigh in on this. Go ahead, Sean.
Tom, I think you're right on track with the analysis. As long as there's a job for him to return to when he's better, he's not going to be entitled to collect unemployment. If he were to leave at this point in time, it would be considered a voluntary resignation, and he wouldn't be allowed to get unemployment. So either way, so long as he's out on that medical leave and there's a job waiting for him, he's not going to be entitled to unemployment benefits.
And Mildred, to go further with this, if they fire him now, it would be with cause, and he wouldn't get unemployment.
Yeah.
Because that's a legitimate reason to fire someone when they can't do the work.
Yeah.
So, it's too bad that he's out, but he can't collect unemployment. There are family leave acts, but that's for non-pay. That they don't pay you when you're on family leave.
Right.
Is this a big company?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm sorry, the news wasn't better. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Hey, Sean, is there a case where if you're injured and you're fired, you can get unemployment?
Sure.
Or can they say you can't do the job, we fired you for cause?
It depends on why they're firing you. If they are firing you because you've run out of FMLA time or approved leave time or something to that effect, you might be in a position where you could collect unemployment because the unemployment agency could find that that's through no fault of your own.
Okay.
So that's one scenario where you might be in a position where you could collect that because it's not through a fault of your own.
Thank you. Sean Olson, the Olson Law Firm, on our referral list, referralist.com, 303-586-7297. Sharon says that testosterone therapy saved her husband's life. What does that mean, Sharon?
My husband, within 4 years, went from working healthy to bedridden. And no one could figure out what was wrong. We spent thousands of dollars in deductible, upper GI, lower GI, heart tests, everything. And it came back that he had a fatty liver and his heart was enlarged. And we said, well, what caused that? And they said, well, he needs to stop drinking. I said, my husband doesn't drink. He hasn't drank in 40 years. And they said, well, we don't know what to tell you. So my family doctor said, hey, I know this physician. She does whole body health, hormone therapy. She'll test everything. A $23 test. Tested his testosterone, and he had 87.
Oh, my goodness.
87. And she said, honey, I'm going to give you a shot of testosterone because you probably feel like crap. And he says, yeah, I do. Within a week, he was crying in her office and said, thank you so much. I feel so much better. And it's been 2 years. He went back for another physical. No fatty liver. His heart is perfect. He's my husband again.
Is he on maintenance therapy of any kind, or did he just get that one shot?
Oh no, he's had it every week. He takes shots. He's heard about the pellets. I called him. He says that might be something I want to do.
No, yeah, pellets are just more natural. I mean, let's put it this way: the shots are better than nothing. It's better than having 80 for sure. I mean, you don't think shots are harmful, do you, Doc?
No, I think shots are fine. You just have to take them very often, and you do have these big spikes, so your hormones are going
I don't like the weekly shots. If you're going to do shots, you should probably do them daily, unfortunately, if you wanted to make it
at least twice a week.
Yeah.
And so that's 104 shots a year versus pellets twice a year, 3 times a year for you.
Exactly.
Because you exercise a lot.
Right.
But having said that, I mean, it's better than nothing, and I'm glad his heart is better, and that's kind of what we would expect.
Sharon, go to biotmedical.com. Biot, it's B-I-O, and then a T-E, medical.com, and pick a physician locally. Just go talk to him. Or ask your physician to call him and get in the program, because she sounds like she's pretty cool. She'd probably like it if she's into natural stuff. Natural delivery. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Carl, what's going on? Carl?
Yes, this is him.
What's happening?
Tom, how you doing today, sir?
Good. What's going on with you?
Well, real quick, because I'm about to go into a big meeting here. But I was at McDonald's on Friday with my kid, and we grabbed some hamburgers off of Mississippi and Potomac. This is McDonald's, actually 2 blocks west of Potomac.
Yeah.
Asked for some fresh hamburgers, and for specifics is this, that, and the other on them, you know. And so after we were waiting, we came and got paid for them, got the hamburgers, and started eating the burgers. And my son started yelling. I turned around, and he's like, and this bug crawled out of his hamburger.
Ugh. Goodness.
So,
Carl, did they charge you extra for that?
I was wondering, you know, if that was an extra spice.
Now listen, man. You know, I wish the myth was true that you're going to be a multimillionaire because of this, but
right.
It's not going to work. Now that bug could have come from any. Now they probably want to know about it. There are some product contamination cases that have paid off big, but they're very, very few. And that was when there was wanton negligence involved and it hurt people. This is just basically something you need to report and find out where it came from. And really, believe me, the parties involved want to truly know where it came from. And what they most likely would do is give you some kind of a courtesy gift card or something, but I doubt it's going to pay off.
Maybe some Lifetime burgers or something.
Yeah, I don't even think Lifetime. But listen, seriously, you should call the health department in that area.
Okay, I will, sir.
And keep the bug. They can actually look at the bug and tell probably where it's from, somewhat where it's from. If it chirps with an accent or something, you never know. But they for example, at the factory, they have certain controls, and they may be able to trace it back there based on what's on it. You'd be surprised how carefully they can inspect contamination and find out if it's rigged or not. Remember that one woman that she rigged up a Coke or something it was, and they found out exactly where that bug came from and literally traced it to bugs in her house. It was amazing. 303-713-8255. If you're having a bathroom done, All About Baths is on my referral list, and they serve Cherry Hills, that's like Bellevue area south. They go all the way south to like Castle Rock. They do Parker and Highlands Ranch and Cherry Hills and Greenwood Village, and they have been remodeling and building bathrooms since 2001. That's all they do. So they're the specialists. Bathrooms only. All About Baths. You will absolutely love them. All About Baths. And you can find them on my referral list at referralist.com. All About Baths. And Suzanne, what's that phone number? I don't have their phone number, but I'll give it when I come back. Anyway, we have a lot more to talk about.
For some reason, they did not give that to me on the sheet. That's the oddest thing in the world.
Brought to you by ACE.
Well, the good news is they cleared down one accident southbound I-25 at 20th, but we still have delays all the way back to US 36. Also, that accident I-270 eastbound near Vasquez has been cleared, but we still have minor delays westbound in the area there. I-25 northbound, we had a crash earlier at Washington Street Bridge. That was backing you up for a while to Hampton. Now we have delays back to about Evans. Denver weather turning mostly sunny this afternoon. Look for a high topping out right around 73 degrees, and the low tonight expected down around 40 degrees.
Thank you. That's an easy one. Thank you. Thank you.
I was a fine dining waiter for about 5 years when I was a
You can make good money.
Oh, you're here. Yeah, I made great money.
I hear you can make like 6 figures doing that.
Yeah. Lawn and garden, you've always wanted.
A lot of cash.
Stock up on everything you need this season. All the innings.
Yeah, but in high-end
One transmission and auto repair has a special.
Hey, we had a question, a great question. You did that, you were a waiter, I take it? So, this lady called in, and she had a credit card. She just happened to check 3 of them and stuff, and on the tip, what she had put on the credit card for the tip, they had increased it by $1 or $3 for 1 gun. So not a whole lot that you would see, but just a little bit. Is that common?
No,
because,
Well, not in the fine dining, it wouldn't be.
no, but in any place, that's not right.
but it wouldn't be the business, it'd be the waiter, like, going up there, and she said she found 3 restaurants, just
3 different restaurants.
3 different restaurants. Yeah. And what a scam, because who's going to call for $1 or $2 to have it done?
And have lower
But,
payments.
what
I've never heard that.
Affordable
And maybe it's
whether you're
something
refinancing
new.
or purchasing your new
Maybe,
home,
you know.
we have new loan programs that allow
Maybe.
you to borrow up to 97%.
You guys were more ethical back
Stop
then.
paying 2,
We were getting
3,
tipped very
400
well,
months
so I
more.
wasn't going to up it, you know.
720-895-0500.
We weren't gonna up it
Purchase
just
your
to
next
up it.
home with as little as 1% down.
Do your
with
job,
no
you get a
mortgage
good tip.
insurance.
Well, yeah, if somebody's dropping $300, you're going to get $60 minimum.
$3,000 down, and
And,
payments less than you were paying.
$300 is not much for those restaurants, but so if you have a bunch of tables, hell, you could clean up.
Mortgage
Yeah.
to refinance or
Just to
purchase
make,
their next home.
300
We will listen to you, and we will personalize your loan to fit your lifestyle.
You can ski all day and
Paperless loan process, a fast
300
close,
a day,
and
life is pretty
up-to-date
good.
communication throughout the process. 720-895-0500.
Where are you out of, Doc? Where do you live?
Dallas.
Oh, Dallas.
Actually, I live in South Lake.
0500. NMLS
Right between Dallas and Fort Worth.
298191. Regulated by DORA. Equal credit.
But I grew up in Dallas.
Question, what do you do? Bell and Pollock, we're injury attorneys in our day lives, but in
You
our
have no
legal
Texas
lives, we're
drawl.
here to answer your legal questions.
That's what everybody says. I can't say how tight it'll
People
be.
for years. Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. Talk radio, 6:30 K-Hour. Be there, we'll help you.
You have an elbow.
So do you like Dr. Lenars? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you do shoulders, backs, whatever's ailing
You
you,
actually
you
what?
want to
I
know
use
about stem cell
Right,
therapy,
on
which
concierge
could
side stuff.
possibly put off your surgery
It's a
indefinitely,
great
relieve
Amy,
for sure.
she's going to be at our refresher training this Saturday. The whole staff from Lone Tree
Informational
practice
seminars
will be there,
about
so
stem cell
they're really good
therapy put
practice.
on by Stem
Enjoy
Cell
working with them.
Institute. They have a number. I think I went there because it's around the country, and it just.
Well, you were looking for a new family doc.
In many
That's why I
cases,
lean
you can
towards them
avoid surgery
because they
altogether.
do good. You know,
In
if you're looking
some
for
cases, you
somebody
can
to take care of all
delay
your stuff.
surgery, and in all cases,
Did you get stem cells in your shoulder
and
for
right now,
rotator cuff?
Stem Cell Institute I don't have. I have a is putting on these seminars. Here's the number: 720. It hardly 580 affects movement, and I had it done there just to see if anything would happen. And then my lower back. And then he did my knees, even though my joint space was fine. I have never had any pain in my knee. But he wanted to literally measure it and see if it increases. I mean, my joint space isn't like a young man, but it's not anywhere near being diseased. But he wanted to see, and he literally took measurements.
Where did they get the stem cells?
Stem Cell Institute of America donated
And right now we're giving
tissue from
users a $50 credit to host a sponsored job, boosting your listing and relevant search results. Claim your $50 credit.
So many people
Indeed.com/credit.
Yeah.
Indeed, the world's
My friend of mine in South Lake, that's what he does.
Terms, conditions,
His whole business.
standards apply.
And then they use, he has a place in Costa Rica or Panama to do live tissue that you can't
Text the word BANG to 200-200. You'll receive a confirmation text. Standard message and data rates apply. That's
A lot of people have had great results.
200.
Yeah. I know they have. And hardly, I mean, about 90% I did. And every
Take it all, take it in, take up all the thoughts of what we.
Hello, Tom Martino here. By the way, all about bathrooms. You can find them at 303-750-1234. And as I mentioned, they serve like Bellevue South, Cherry Hills, Greenwood Village, Highlands Ranch, and South. So find them on the referral list at referrallist.com, 303-750-1234. We're talking about testosterone treatment through BioT and testosterone and hormones in general, plus people who have problems, questions and complaints on anything can call, as you know, live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So let's talk to Mark. Mark, what's happening?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
Thanks for taking my call. I have a very common problem amongst older men. I have an enlarged prostate.
Yeah.
And now I talked to my doctor a couple of days ago. I had a physical, and I asked him about that, and he said, well, we do have a treatment for that, and what the treatment does is it decreases the testosterone. So I'd appreciate any comments the doctor has about.
Did he say it's obviously benign enlargement, right?
Yeah.
And did he say what medicine it was?
Oh, no. I mentioned something over the counter that has saw
palmetto.
in it.
Yeah.
Well, there are so many supplements that don't work. I mean, they're not going to do you any harm, but they won't help an acute situation. Let's put it that way. They're good for health.
Yeah.
But once it goes enlarged, there's really supplements. To be honest, they don't truly help you with acute situations like you have.
Well, he said
Doctor, do you know anything? What medicine would he recommend?
Yeah, most likely the doctor's recommending finasteride or Proscar.
And what does that do?
So it blocks testosterone from converting to dihydrotestosterone. It is the dihydrotestosterone that causes the prostate to enlarge. That's what's called benign prostatic hypertrophy. That's what he has,
now,
BPH.
Would that interfere with pellet therapy?
No, you'd still get testosterone, and we would stay on the Proscar or the finasteride because you still get the protection from the testosterone. So
but does Proscar, do you know of any negative things about Proscar, and what's the other name?
Finasteride. Oh, yeah. If you get too much of it, it can actually lead to erectile problems, so that's not so good. However, in people who have an enlarged prostate that are symptomatic, so the question for
what is symptomatic?
So are they getting up a number of times in the night to urinate? Do they have trouble starting urination? Those are the symptoms of an enlarged prostate. So there are ways to treat it, not using Proscar. But again, we would treat them with pellets and with testosterone. There was a great study done in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2004. You don't even have to adjust the dose of testosterone in patients who have enlarged prostates. because unless you're converting to the dihydrotestosterone, which we can measure, we don't even adjust the dose. The pellet therapy still works for all the other parts of your body. So the reality is, yes, I would treat him. I would want to know if he's symptomatic and having trouble with urination.
Yeah, I am.
Right. So there's a couple pills out there, Flomax and some other things.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Is Flomax a Proscar or the other one?
No. So Flomax works in a different pathway, and the Flomax, is that helping your urination?
Yeah, it is, but it's still, it's...
I heard Flomax had more negative things. That's why when you mentioned these other two, I like that you did not mention Flomax, because I've heard a lot of bad things about Flomax.
Yeah, Flomax is going to, again, put a Band-Aid on the problem.
But it
Proscar will
also
shrink
bothers
the prostate.
it also does something to your libido.
Yeah. Well, actually, on the erectile side, it can. Oh, and on the, you talking about Flomax? Yeah, it can. Here's the other thing that's pretty cool. You can use, and now we can actually compound it, which is the daily Cialis, all right, which is really the tadalafil. Taking it daily, you don't have the side effects you do with other forms of like Viagra and that thing.
And what does it do for you?
It will actually shrink the prostate.
It will. Why?
And it improves your urination.
What does it have in it that improves you?
So that's the tadalafil. That's its active substance. It's in Cialis, and the prostate will actually shrink without the side effects. You don't get the flushing. You don't get the ED problems. In fact, it's going to help because your erections will be better.
What does Proscar do? What negative with Proscar?
So Proscar is finasteride. You block the conversion.
Finasteride is called.
With an F.
Okay.
F-I-N. Yeah, so finasteride. The finasteride was used years ago both for prostate and for guys that had male pattern baldness, because what was causing guys' hair to fall out was the conversion of testosterone to the dihydrotestosterone, and then that was whacking the hair follicles. So we used that drug. The problem was we were using about 2 milligrams a day, and when we did, a lot of guys had erectile problems after that. So that's not so good. However, so Proscar is one option. Daily Cialis or compounded tadalafil is another option. The compound is way cheaper. The other is a little bit more expensive. The Proscar is going to be relatively cheap, but to your point, comes with side effects.
Yeah.
Is there a dosage that doesn't give the side effects but still shrinks the prostate?
Yeah, you could take 1 milligram of the finasteride daily or every other day. That would be better. So taking Proscar, which is 5 milligrams, you get, again, that big spike we always talk about, but you can get finasteride at 1 milligram and take it every other day. It would also shrink the prostate. So that's another option.
Would it work better than the tadalafil? What is
tadalafil? The Cialis? It's just going to be cheaper. They're both going to work to shrink the prostate. So I would probably start with finasteride 1 milligram, which won't give you side effects, and take it every day or every other day. It works just as well. And see how that worked for you. If that didn't work, then I would try the tadalafil, which is more expensive.
Now, a lot of people have enlarged prostates, and unless they have an exam, they wouldn't know because PSA does not indicate that.
Not necessarily. You may not pick it up on PSA.
Right,
you need an exam to see what the size is.
Exactly.
Sometimes they'll do an ultrasound to make sure nothing else is going on in the prostate. Benign prostatic hypertrophy and enlarged prostate is a pretty common problem.
Right, that's right.
And unless they're symptomatic, you don't necessarily have to treat it. With this gentleman, he definitely has a symptom, so he needs treatment.
All right, sir, I hope he was a world of information for me. I hope he was for you. 303-713-8255. Wanda. What's going on, Wanda?
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
I'm just listening to your talk about the biotine, so I thought I'd call.
Yeah, what do you have?
Well, it's not me. It's actually my husband.
Yeah.
Let me say about 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
He suffered pulmonary embolisms to his heart and lungs, and then after that, they put in, a vena cava filter, and then he had reoccurring deep vein
thrombosis
legs, and so he suffers with pain in his legs every day, which, and then the experience caused anxiety attacks, and so he suffers with depression and stress. And
I'll tell you, testosterone is wonderful for all of those things.
And actually, the pellets do not increase his risk for blood clots. There's not one study ever done that showed that testosterone pellet therapy increases blood clots, unlike some other things. So it would be a great therapy for him because he would feel better. His depression would be better.
Would probably help his
anxiety.
depression. Exactly.
Yeah.
It would help him tremendously.
Okay.
He should look for someone. And then as far as does he move around a lot?
He forces himself. Yes.
Does he work out?
Nope.
He really needs exercise. I mean, it's amazing what exercise does for you.
I know, and doctors have told him that, but he doesn't do it.
How old is he?
He just turned 65.
Yeah. He needs a kick in the butt.
Yeah, I try to do that on a daily basis, but is there these BioT places down?
They're all over. They're all over.
Oh, okay.
If you go to biotmedical.com, what part of town are you in?
We're actually down by Falcon, which is just east of the
Falcon.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of providers?
Where's Falcon again?
Near Colorado Springs.
Oh yeah, there's several physicians in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay, BioT Medical.
Yeah, it's BIOTE medical.com.
The T stands for testosterone. The E stands for estrogen. BIOTE medical.com.
What did you say, Suzanne?
So a gentleman called in who couldn't hold. He wanted to know if BioT therapy helps with ED after the prostate has been removed.
Oh, that's an interesting question.
The answer is absolutely yes. In fact, once the prostate's been removed and once the PSA is back normal again or negligible, which it will be after therapy, then we would treat them with testosterone, because a lot of people after the prostate's removed have ED. So if we can improve blood flow to the penis, if we can increase nitrous oxide, which then dilates those blood vessels, those people would do a lot better.
Now, I want to tell you about Approval Reverse, Joan Sullivan. That's a reverse mortgage company, and the reason I recommend them only, Joan Sullivan will never, her team will never slam you into a reverse mortgage unless it'll help you. But if you're 62 or older and have some equity, it could be a really good retirement plan. And as I said, it doesn't fit all, and she will tell you the truth. ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair has a special you can't miss. Find, fix, or free.
I was going to ask you about the nerve damage. If he has prostate removed and there's damage to the nerve,
You got nerve damage, not going to work.
Right, that was the one point. I want to get your hopes up saying, oh, you're going to get that.
Right.
You have the knee. If there's nerve damage,
Not going to work.
not going to work. So,
I'll be right back. If anyone needs to use the restroom, if anyone does not have a normal prostate, let's see.
you want any wine in here?
So if you want to speak up on something, here's your mic, and then you just got to hit on right over there, right above the off there. So you're more than welcome. No one likes that. If you want to chime in on something, feel free. So you do radon testing, but you don't do radon mitigation, huh?
Correct.
Okay.
Right, yeah. I just do strictly the inspections.
Gotcha. So, one of the things Tom is talking about, and this is real good, is because most of your inspections, I'm sure, are home selling inspections, right?
Yeah, probably 85% of them.
So one of the things is, and this is just a spectacular idea, because who usually orders the home inspections is the buyer.
Correct.
So if he has issues with it, he says, wow, look at all these things, but he doesn't know how much these things cost.
Right. Yep.
If somebody would put in as far as what they cost and stuff, and, especially a lot of laymen.
Yeah, and it would be good service. The problem is right now is contractors, there's no pricing. Right. I mean, one contractor could say, hey, $100 to change an outlet, another guy could say 40.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't give any prices on mine.
Right.
It's just for that reason.
Right. No, you can't, because you'd want some type of guarantee there.
Pardon me, Mark, I was wondering if you heard, or maybe one of you guys did, they were talking about a gentleman saying he caught the tail end of it, so I don't want him to ask again, but about urination medicine that helps urination at night. Did you guys hear what that was? Flomax? Where do you find that? Is that through BioT?
Well, he didn't really like the Flomax thing because there are side effects there and stuff. But
so what did he suggest for that?
What did he say? 1 milligram of... was a
second will tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't want to put the guy back on because it was already
Or
talked
daily
about.
Cialis is
Daily Cialis or a milligram of something for urination.
Milligram every other day.
Did you catch it?
Tom wrote it down over there.
He did?
Yeah.
Was it the testosterone?
Yeah.
Or was it the...
Pro...
I think that's what it was.
I can't read that.
I tried either. I tried to.
All right, I'll ask the guys.
You know, one of the things with home inspections that a lot of people don't realize, it's honestly done. You're under contract on a home. The buyer comes in and wants an inspection done, and then it's a big race to get it done before closing. I mean, ideally, the best time an inspection should be done, the seller should do it. It should be done pre-listing the home. That'd be a whole market shift.
Right.
But I preach it all the time.
You know,
then things can be repaired before replaced, and there's not that huge crush and crunch.
Not only that, is if you could do it, and then if you could have a contract, and granted, but the services together, if they go, these are the things are wrong, this is what it would cost if you need it, I'm not going to pay for these. But many things
they can price the house accordingly.
Right.
The realtor could say, hey, we know about these deficiencies, and we're going to price the home accordingly.
Or it's like small thing, well, I don't care about this. I mean, it's, you know, it's going to be $50 and stuff like that down the road. I don't have to nitpick every different, because you're right, there's probably quite a few.
I follow the national standard, you know, and what should be, you know, health, safety, functionality, things like that. Right. I mean, some inspectors get more nitpicky than others, you know what I mean? But I mean, if they're following the national standard, INRIACI standard, everything should be covered, you know, if they're doing their job. But it could be, in some homes, it's almost looks like a laundry list of things, you know?
Oh,
they
there
can
is.
seem overwhelming.
Right.
And some of it's age related, you know, if the property's built in the 60s, it's going to have different type of wiring and maybe some other issues that a home built in the 2000s would be. So,
Right.
I mean,
but if you can keep the, and granted, it's a hot market here, but keep that from being the deal killer of the house,
right?
Because you know it up front, or you know what it's going to cost. You know, you just write, okay, I'll give you $4,000 off the, you know, for that. So.
Right. Yeah, and if it's done pre-listing, I mean, they can even have the inspection report go with their realtor and say, hey, I've got guys that can fix this, or we'll say, look, this is what the price is, and we're going to subtract, you're right, $3,000 or $4,000 for, and price the home that way, and that would eliminate the whole crush in the middle.
Right.
So,
right.
But,
Is that Tom, where's Tom? You're gonna have to fill in here.
No, bring it.
I should go over and get him real quick. Tom, you're up.
No, the announcements are great. There's a Rimidex from Aura. That's the same. They all do the same thing.
I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. Okay. We're getting a lot of off-air queries, and I imagine a lot of men are suffering from this because I got some emails, some instant messages, and Suzanne got a phone call when we talked about the frequent urination. A lot of men, 55 and older, believe it's totally natural to get up. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you, Doc. I had this conversation, unfortunately, with a bunch of my friends who are old and older, not the young men, and they all get up 3 and 4 times a night. They all do, without question. And they have delayed urination, and it's more common than I think you think. You shocked me when you said off the air you shouldn't be doing that. And so if you know a 65, 66-year-old man, are you saying it's unnatural for them to get up in the middle of the night?
Right. You shouldn't be getting, well, you should get up maybe once during the night. I mean,
I should say this. It's probably natural if you're not on good therapy.
Right. But as you get older, and if your prostate is growing, the number of times that you get up during the night will increase. Your stream will decrease.
Right,
and the
exactly.
and then you have this delay in
Exactly.
waiting for the stream to start.
Exactly. I think you're hiding in my bathroom. Okay, go ahead. He's
God, I
spying.
hope not.
He's spying on me. No, I'm serious. A lot of guys are interested in this. So what do they do?
So you really need your prostate checked. It's
Right.
not a blood test. It's
Right.
an exam.
Right.
And
The
so
worst exam in the world. Yes.
It's not the worst.
No, I mean,
Just think about what women have to go through.
I imagine some men like it. They light candles, but I don't. Okay, so then what?
It's not like a candle.
No, I said
not like a pap smear. So it's a digital rectal exam.
Yes.
So they're going to take a gloved finger. They're going to feel
Right.
the prostate. It's
Exactly.
not difficult to feel, and they'll be able to tell if it's enlarged.
Right.
And from there, then they can begin therapy. And so we can get the prostate to start shrinking. Once you start shrinking the prostate, irregardless of whether you're on testosterone or not, once you start shrinking the prostate, your symptoms will get better. And again, you're going to know, well, how do I know if my prostate is shrinking? Your symptoms will get better. And you'll have repeat exams maybe down the road 6 months or a year. And at some point, you won't be getting up 3 or 4 times during the night. Maybe you're getting up once during the night. And you'll notice your stream is better. So now you're able to initiate your stream. You're not getting up so often. That's how you know your prostate's improving.
So men who think, because here's why. The same men that I talked to also said, well, I don't get the exam anymore. I hate those exams because my PSA tells it all. PSA does tell it when it comes to cancer.
Yeah, it tells it when it comes to cancer.
But
it also
not
tells it when
size.
it comes to infection.
Right.
Because you can have a high PSA. You don't have to have cancer. You could just have prostatitis.
Exactly.
Or an inflammation or infection.
But
in your
it doesn't
prostate.
show enlargement.
No, it's not a good screening. It's not a good screening test anyway. Just like I said before, it doesn't tell whether you have cancer or you don't have cancer. It also doesn't tell whether your prostate's enlarged or not.
But let's put it this way: if you have high PSA, you have to have it checked if it's high.
Yes.
But as he said, it could just be an infection. If you have low PSA, you still should be examined for the enlargement part if you're symptomatic. Is that well said then? Okay.
Yeah, that's well said.
So, and then he's recommending a treatment of a compounded Cialis, or it's not the Cialis, but the
It is a Cialis. It's the same compound,
but
it's not
it's the
other
ingredient.
brand.
What's
Right,
the
Tadalafil.
Tadalafil, and he's recommending Tadalafil, and he says it's inexpensive and it's not
FDA approved
and not harmful.
And it's approved by the FDA for that indication.
Oh, it is.
Yes, sir.
Why don't they sell it for that? Why don't they sell low milligrams for that?
Well, they do sell the daily Cialis with the FDA indication for BPH. The problem with
very
the one,
expensive.
they trick you because they say you can get 30 for free. You try it, and then you go back and go, I really like that daily Cialis. How much is it? And it's $330 a month.
It's ridiculous.
We can make the same compound in the same way, and it's about $3.50 a pill.
Is BioT going to start distributing it?
We're not distributing it, but our physicians have it available to them from the same people that make their pellets.
All right.
And so we can get it for all their patients, absolutely.
Good. Okay. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Kimberly, what's going on with you?
Hey, Tom.
Hi.
Well, I was all set up to go get this BioT done. I got a new doctor, and so we got the blood test done. Everything's cool. I go in for a follow-up, and he's like, well, I'm not going to be able to do it. You had a deep vein thrombosis in the past. My lawyer said that we recommend that we not do it. I can refer you to someone.
Is he a BioT doctor?
He was just trained in, he said, and, he'd been doing it for,
Okay. Well, I don't know anything about it, so...
Yeah, that's completely not true. Number one, BioT pellets, or the pellets that we use at BioT, do not increase your risk for blood clots. So even if you've had a history of a deep vein thrombosis, you can still receive pellets.
Yeah. I even had the oncologist. I had a knee surgery last year. I had called the oncologist, and he okayed me to have this knee surgery. Well, called him, and he's like, yeah, he goes, if you were my mother, I would say go ahead. If it makes you feel better, I would do it.
Now, where do you live? What part of town?
I'm over by, Littleton, Sheffield area.
You know doctors over there, Gunther?
Yes, I know all the doctors in Colorado.
How many are over there?
There's quite a bunch.
Well, you really need to find another one then.
I do, and like I said, I mean...
Of course, she needs to call me and let me know who this one is. So
yeah, because he's telling
a little bit of refresher training.
Yeah, because he's really...
yeah. I'd love to call you, Doc. What's your number?
Okay, we'll give you off the air. Okay, hold on. Suzanne, would you get Kimberly's number off the air? Kimberly, that doctor really shouldn't be scaring you like that. Really. 303-713-TALK. Is BioT covered by Medicare or Medicaid?
No, we actually don't take insurance, whether it's Medicare or Medicaid, for the pellet insertions. Medicare will pick up the lab work, and Medicare will pick up the consult most of the time, so they can get that paid for. The pellets are a cash-based thing, but they're cheap. For most women, it's going to be about $350 per insertion 3 times a year. For most men, it's going to be about $700 twice a year.
Okay. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's talk to Rod. I got to take a break. I'm sorry, Drew. Rod, I'll get to you. And then Sebastian, I see you on there about a halfway house or a half, I think, is that a half house or halfway house? Is that what he's talking about?
That's right. It's a halfway house.
We'll talk about that coming up. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino.
I can't believe how this is. Isn't this unusual, Dan, for one topic to take over like this?
Well, I thought the BioT, I knew it was going to be.
I thought, well, I'd have to do a few calls here and there.
Well, we've been in this market for 4.5 years, right? So there's about 80 physicians from Fort Collins down to Colorado Springs now. So the last 4.5 years, BioT has, had a presence built in Colorado. So their insurance company covers it?
They do. Some of them do cover it. We don't take insurance because it's all over the place.
So if your insurance takes it, you can put it towards your deductible.
You can file your insurance.
Because no matter what, you're going to have deductible.
If you got an HSA account, a flex spending account,
we take HSAs. In terms of insurance,
it's really wonderful. You're very busy, really.
And so that's
So
why
if insurance companies say on a male paid $180, they don't even cover the cost of his
So I
pellets.
think the waves
So I'm guessing he gets probably 1,800 milligrams or so.
3 or 4 pellets.
So
You got more than 30.
my big thing was
3 or 4 pellets, I thought.
There's more. That's
Where
do I go?
The pricing of those pellets would be
Two
more
than
than
anything higher
than what the insurance is paying. So for us, it's not a good deal.
So where would
I don't know if you put it around.
Well, I see Dr.
Guess it was
Weezer was
probably
my
more than that.
doctor, and I just.
But nonetheless,
Because of the number you
You can talk to Dr. Weezer,
Oh, okay.
give him my number, and they will
Okay.
train Dr. Weezer.
Okay,
Well,
I'll do it.
insurance
Okay,
companies
he's
used to hassle.
very.
It just doesn't make sense.
An unconventional doctor.
We don't do
He's not
it. They'll tell
So
their
he's
patients that it's
Yeah.
experimental.
He won't be trained MDs on how to do teletherapy. Or you're a BioT medical doctor.
Okay, I couldn't tell.
No, because like I said, that was my biggest.
Sorry.
But what part of town?
Right here. I'm 3 miles away.
I didn't know if it was bumper music or commercial.
Join us every Sunday at 9 a.m.
Don't
for
work
No
on
Strings.
When I hear music, I'm
No,
triggered.
maybe I'll do that. Right, and I don't mind switching.
Not yet, not yet.
Physicals.
68 practices in Colorado.
68?
There may be a time in your life where you need just
Yeah, sometimes when people are new, we train them, and there's so much in training, they miss stuff, like the blood clot issue. So just like anything else.
Where are you going to get training on that?
These old guys are
Tonight,
down.
we're doing dinner tonight. McCormick and Schmitz. It's just a dinner.
Oh,
Dinner talk. There's a talk there that I give for an hour. It's like an introductory thing to teletherapy.
And you can't do it without legal representation.
Sure,
Jose Lazare is someone we highly recommend. Of course, we also recommend you stay out of trouble too. But Lazare can help you when it comes to DUIs.
And tomorrow night we'll do a legacy dinner. There's no talking. And then Saturday, it's all day.
Help you through the system.
7 hours all day.
7 hours.
That's LAZZ.
For our providers. So always refreshing their education.
Initial consultations complimentary. 303-429-6200.
How many physicians nationwide?
6200.
48 states.
But I imagine you have doctors, here's the problem you have, like with anything, you have doctors that are just deadbeats. I mean, you have 2,000 docs, but how many, are they all pretty good performers, or do they
Well,
really?
like you just had this guy, right, misinform a patient. Now, we've taught that pellets do not increase the risk of DVT.
Well, this guy said his attorney was let him. Which is, I can't believe you would check with his attorney.
Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
You never know. Could be a family friend.
Hey Mom, I got your message.
Yeah.
Do you need me to come home early?
But nonetheless, we've never had, BioT's never had a lawsuit or med mal on anything we've done. So we're on the right side on the healthcare side. I mean, not that you couldn't, because you can sue for anything, but I mean, knock on wood, but it's not like we're out there doing something that's so crazy. We're actually doing things that make you healthier, not more unhealthy. And we do with our side effects. We looked at 550,000 patients. Our side effects less than 1%.
It would also make time for a nice trip down to Mar-a-Lago.
You know, earlier they said, well, it doesn't work this way. There's no medical therapy that works 100% of the time. There's nothing that works 100%. But at 95% retention rate, we're pretty close. It works for the vast majority.
Of all the wallets, mine is obviously
they're on antidepressants and drugs, different stuff, bad lifestyle choices. That's why I want to. You got to do something to help yourself out.
About it this afternoon with Michael Brown, beginning at 4
You got to help
on
yourself.
6:30 KHOW.
I mean, we've been telling people forever, stop smoking, right? Well, how many people still smoke?
Hello, Tom Martino here. Welcome, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Sebastian, what is your question?
Hi, Tom. My name is Sebastian. Pleased to meet you.
Good to meet you. What is going on?
Listen, I'm here at a halfway house, and I've done my time at CJC, the El Paso County Criminal Justice System, and here at the halfway house last night we had kind of like a shakedown where they threw away everybody's food. And when I came into the facility, we signed a piece of paper stating that we're not allowed to have food in our rooms. Well, anyway, it doesn't specify whether it be perishable or non-perishable. The the perishable food, I can see the issue with it being a problem. But last night they came in and they threw away all of my food, which was not outdated.
Give me an idea what they threw away, Sebastian.
Ramen noodles. They threw away a fresh bag of Doritos chips. They took away an unopened 12-pack of soda pop.
Okay. Well, Sebastian, it seems pretty cut and dry, though, if they have a policy of no food.
Well, see, but it doesn't. In the paper we signed, it doesn't specify a non-perishable or perishable.
Well, okay.
Food.
Well, because it doesn't specify, it seems like they mean all food, right? I mean, why would you even assume that when they say no food, that they wouldn't mean all food? I guess I don't understand your reasoning.
Okay, the reason is because we had just got approved to have cell phones here at the facility. None of this has taken place. I just got diagnosed with skin cancer yesterday, and I need certain kind of sheets. And there, a verbal threat or whatever kind of threat it may be, if them saying that they're going to confiscate our stuff, whether it be contraband, there was no.
Sebastian, you mentioned three things. Okay, you mentioned the food. Then you mentioned the cell phones, and then you mentioned the sheets. So are you just pissed off because you're in a halfway house? Because I get you if you are, and they probably aren't run like Mom's or the hotel. But I got to tell you, when it comes to the cell phone now, tell me about that. I mean, you were told you guys could have cell phones in your rooms, and now they won't let you, or what?
No, they got audited. They got audited and we were supposed to be able to have cell phones a long time ago. I just got here about 2 months ago.
Okay, so Sebastian, are they going to allow you to have cell phones or not?
We can. We are allowed to have cell phones, but when the cell phone privilege got the place started crumbling. Like now, we're not. They're just doing. This stuff should have been implemented a long time ago, and they're just.
They took a while to implement. I get it. Now, what? Then you said something about sheets. Well, tell me about that.
The sheets were issued kind of jail, I guess. Community correction style sheets and wool blankets, and I have a really bad sensitive skin, and they did surgery on my back yesterday. But I understand that this is a community corrections place. That I do understand, but for them to, not physically threaten, but for them to not give us time to remove our sheets and say that they're going to throw them away, and just like last night, we weren't given any notice when they threw away tons and tons of food that was unopened.
I know, Sebastian. Listen. I understand you, but I still, I can't even find a problem. That's the thing. They have a policy of no food, and you're pissed that they threw your food away. I want you to leave some information. Suzanne, do me a favor and get some information from him where we can contact him or where he can call us off the air. Because, Sebastian, truly, if you're in a halfway house, I'm not one of these guys who say, hey, the hell with you, you shouldn't have committed a crime to be there to begin with. I don't believe that. I do believe that there could be mistreatment at times. I don't think what you told me is mistreatment. But if you feel that there is something that we can sink our teeth into, I'd be happy to listen to you. But I can't get involved in them throwing away your food when there's a policy for no food. It's almost like you're thinking, well, they didn't warn me, so I could have cleaned it up. They shouldn't have to. It's contraband. You're not allowed to have it. And I hope I can I'm being objective here. I don't hear a problem. If I heard a problem, I promise you I'd be out there. Because even though you're in a halfway house, I don't think they should crap on you, okay? Rod, what's going on?
Hey, Dom. I was listening to your doctor, and in
Yes.
relationship to prostate, I had prostate surgery last November where they went in and reamed it out and everything.
Yeah.
And I still have leakage and up and down all night long, and I've got my prostate, which is about the size of a big acorn or a walnut or whatever, and it's big, and my PSA is about 14.
Oh my gosh! Woo!
And so, every so often I
You don't have cancer right now? You don't have cancer?
No, don't have cancer.
So you have rip-roaring chronic prostatitis. Are you taking antibiotics?
No.
It sounds like you have an infection problem.
Well, that's what I had at one time, but this doctor I'm going to now,
Well, what the hell does he think 14 in a PSA means?
What kind of a doctor are you going to, Rod?
Urologist.
Okay.
Wow, he's a specialist. Why would he overlook 14 and not treat him for an infection if he doesn't have cancer? I don't understand that.
Well, he can screen him for, you can test the fluid that comes out
and
look and see if he has infection.
And if he doesn't, he doesn't. But have you ever heard of a condition where somebody has an enlargement and has a PSA of 14 and no infection and no cancer?
Yes.
What causes it then?
They just have a chronically elevated PSA after damage from the infection, or the chronic prostatitis. So he may not have ongoing infection. It's just inflamed.
Gotcha.
And that inflammation will elevate the PSA, and that may be where he's at.
Oh. Is there anything you can do for it?
Again, you can treat the enlarged prostate. Yours sounds like it's not huge if it's a sizable walnut, but
it's bigger than the walnut. He said it's the largest he's ever seen.
Because we went from an acorn to a walnut to the largest we've ever seen. All right.
Well,
that'd be like an orange.
But here, if you're asking what you can do, if you're asking if testosterone therapy would help or hinder, what would it do?
Well, it's not going to hurt your prostate. It would make you feel better, for sure, and it would protect a lot of your other organs. I would probably be on testosterone with some sort of a blocker so that you didn't make the prostate get any bigger. I think you'd feel a lot better.
We got a lot more happening here. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. 303-713-TALK. Hang out for another hour.
Those are tough because what they've done is they've gone
Save
into
thousands and have lower payments.
and they've reamed it out. So they take a tube right through the penis,
You're purchasing
and
your
they have a
home.
loop on
We
the
have
end of
new
it.
programs that allow you
And they just, it's like an apple core, and they just...
God almighty.
Take any.
It doesn't that hurt the vein?
Purchase
No, it doesn't get to the vein. It's an old treatment for prostate. It's like an apple core, and then it opens up the prostate so it's big, but you open up so that it's not constricting the urethra.
Payments less than you were paid.
The problem is it grows back. My guess is this guy's older. I don't know how old he is.
To refinance or purchase their next home.
Most people that get, they don't really do TURPs anymore. It's called a transurethral prostate resection. And
What is Mark doing? Do you know? Is he posting stuff, or what is he doing?
I don't know right now, Tom.
Take AIM as your local and
He's
trusted
not on
broker since
Google
2001.
here. Could you just ask what did he post a video yet, or what?
298-191. Regulated by DORA.
Do they put a stent in this?
Is Denver's
No, you
Talk
don't put a
Station.
stent in.
More with Martino after the news on 630
But would the
KHOW
stent work?
and
Doesn't
iHeartRadio
have to hold it
station
open?
KHOW Denver.
It would be difficult to stent. Oh, right.
President Trump is slamming the leadership of former FBI Director James Comey. In an interview for NBC Nightly News, the
Suzanne, what is this sound clip for Allie? What does that mean?
Because if you did turmoil, you know that, I know that, it was in virtual turmoil.
Is this what I asked you for, Allie? Okay. Okay, thanks. I didn't know what it was. Thanks.
FBI Director Andrew McCabe testified Comey has broad support in the FBI. That was during the Senate hearing. Trump says he has already decided to fire Comey before talking.
We can do this once in a while too, Tom, if you want.
Yeah, we have to. We can do it by phone too.
Yeah, I'm glad to do it anytime you want.
Yeah, based on this, we want to. How often do you come to town?
Whenever you need me to come up.
He was not under investigation.
I can come anytime.
Americans may not get a look at President Trump's
I like coming to Denver.
until after he leaves office.
Denver's a good area.
Interview with Congress. Trump was asked if he
Yeah, I like
releases tax returns and
The other thing too is we could have some of our other biotech physicians, come in if he's not available or something like that.
Only if they're smart and know a lot. I mean that
something we
sincerely.
can do for our legacy providers.
Because a lot of doctors, I mean,
on radio, you know, on TV, you have a script. So, like today, I have no script. I have no idea what he's going to ask, or which call's coming in. So you have to be able to answer all those questions and not get tripped up, or look like you look like an idiot. On TV, we have 3 minutes, 6 questions. You could rehearse them if you wanted to. It's hard to get tripped up. You got an announcer that doesn't know anything anyway. So it's pretty simple. This is way different. I wouldn't put an inexperienced person on radio. Putting them on TV like Colorado is better.
Yeah, they have.
No, but
they have
I could have like Michael Murray from Junction Urology.
You could do it.
You know, who's bio-T trained, and I could have a urologist.
Experienced person, yes.
I could bring a cardiology guy in. I can bring different specialties in.
Just want to be careful on the experience level.
Yes.
See, what works for you, you don't sound like a salesman. I mean, you just like, huh?
I'm not.
I know, you don't sound like it. You sound like just, no, what I'm saying is you sound so, this is good, yeah, that's not a bit, you know. It's,
objective.
Very objective, there, that's a good word, objective.
Well, the thing you always got to come across to the public on, this is evidence-based medicine, right? This is not Dr. Donovan's opinion. This is based on 80 years of research from Europe, from Australia, from around the globe. It's just that your typical Western medicine physician has not been trained on how to think about this topic the way we're talking about it today, right? And that's the whole purpose of bio-T Medical, is to bring physicians to our training programs, educate them on the existing literature.
Now, Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can. Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome. Today we have a friend in from the referral list, Mark Jones. He's just observing from the Springs. He's a home inspector. Top Springs Inspector is the name of his company. If you want to look it up, you can search it on referralist.com. And then we have someone that I've been endorsing a while, and I've been on the program even longer than that, and it's bio-T. I feel like I know them because I've been on this program for so long and done so much research, and I've actually fielded a lot of questions from people who hear me do the commercial, and they say, is it really working? And tell me about it. So I've talked to a lot of people off the air. So now we have the founder and the boss basically here right in the studio to answer questions directly, and he's been doing so for the last 2 hours. I urge you to listen to the podcast. It's very useful information. Dr. Gary Donovitz, and he's with bio-T Medical, and you can find out a physician near you at biotmedical.com. And it's basically testosterone treatment through pellets that are implanted right under the skin, and they dissolve over time, and you only need it 2 to 3 times a year.
But Tom, one thing I really want to share with you, the bio-T
and
method.
Gunther, by the way, is one of the representatives who signs doctors up. Yes.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about testosterone, but the bio-T method is really a holistic approach to optimizing your hormones.
Right,
We're
exactly.
looking at, not just hormones, but even B12, vitamin D3,
That's right.
progesterone, estradiol, testosterone, and thyroid. We haven't even touched on thyroid.
Right.
But a bio-T physician, when one of your listeners goes to see a bio-T trained physician,
Yes.
they're not just getting looked at for their testosterone.
Right.
And you mentioned it in the first hour that, you just don't want to go to one of these low T shops, right?
You don't want to just go to a tea store, I call it.
Right. One of these T stores. So in the bio-T method of hormone optimization, you're going to get extensive lab work done. We're going to look at your physiology holistically.
And that's
We're
what
looking
happened to
at
me.
Everything, right?
Yep.
So you've had that experience.
And I have supplements. Tell me what DIM is.
Yeah, so DIM is a natural supplement that we use that does a number of things. Number one is diindolylmethane. It kind of comes from cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. And what it does is it increases your free testosterone, which is the active form of testosterone. So that's one good thing. Number two, it helps maintain your testicular size. Number three, it metabolizes your testosterone. The testosterone has to go some way. It metabolizes it down through an estrogen pathway that's the best pathway, that's protective to your prostate. If you were a female getting testosterone, it would be protective to your breast. So it's one of the most important nutraceuticals, one of the most important supplements that we have.
Okay, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If you have any questions, We do. Kathy, go ahead. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, I have a question about pellets for women. Do the pellets contain all the hormones women need, the estradiol, progesterone, and testosterone?
It's a great question. So it does contain testosterone. We also have estradiol pellets. We don't put progesterone, we could, but we don't put progesterone in pellets because progesterone typically helps you sleep or makes you sleepy, so it's great taken at night. It's a great hormone to help you sleep. It's a great hormone for your moods. It's a great protector for your uterus. I'd rather not have it there 24/7, and so we don't put it in the pellets. We do optimize your progesterone, but we use a pill or a sublingual pill for that either way. The thyroid is also a pill and not a pellet. So some things we use a tablet for. For the most part, testosterone and estradiol we're going to be in pellet form.
Okay, now my other concern is you get the pellets placed, and what keeps a steady dose in your system?
Yeah, that's a great question. So most things like shots or creams have to be absorbed through the skin, or the shots are in an oil, and you get a big high spike in your testosterone, and then it sort of falls over the next few days. With pellets, those pellets actually go into the fatty tissue in the backside, or in the abdomen, either way. And what happens is a little capillary network forms around those pellets, and as your heart pumps blood, it absorbs the testosterone or the estrogen from the pellet. So you get a very constant absorption, and your hormone levels stay constant every day. Those pellets then dissolve over 3 or 4 months in women, and then you just have the procedure redone.
Okay, that answers my question.
All right, well, thank you for calling. Sharon, what's going on, Sharon?
Hi.
What's happening?
Let me get off the loud and get on the regular.
Okay, you do that, dear. You get off the loud. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm an elderly lady.
I couldn't tell.
I've been listening. Yeah, sure. I sound like Grandma.
No, I'm not kidding. How old are you?
86.
You're 86. Whoa. Okay.
I look it, but I don't feel it. But I am a very healthy 86-year-old, and I only take one medication, which is the thyroid pill, 75 micrograms.
And is that based on blood work, dear? Is that based on blood work or somebody's opinion?
Oh, no, my doctor blood work 30 years ago. I had a thyroid nodule, and they took it out, and it was a subtotal thyroidectomy.
Okay.
But I want you to know that's the only medication I take at my age, and I have friends who live on pills, and I see my doctor once a year for a physical and not more. I don't need to. So here's my question for Dr. Gary Donovitz. The doctor said something about, for men, if their prostate shrinks back down, they won't have to get up at night 4 times a night, as it happens as they age. Well, I'm a little old lady who has never been a man and has never had a prostate gland, and as all aging women, you start getting up to urinate in your 50s or 60s. Now that I'm in my 80s, I don't just get up once a night. I get up many times a night. Otherwise, I would wet the bed. My bladder talks to me and wakes me up. Why I didn't have a prostate. Why is it that as we age, the women, including friends of mine, why do we have to get up?
Good question.
Numerous times.
Good question. As a matter of aging for women, and that is a great question. Now, I know women, though, and I truly do know women in their 80s that do not get up during the night. So I'm not sure that it's natural when you get older. But, doctor, what about that?
Yeah, so it actually can occur as you get older. The tissue in both the vagina and in the tube that you pee through, the urethra, and the bladder, all get thinner, and the muscles around those tissues get weaker. So on testosterone, you would actually maintain that. On estrogen also, you would actually increase blood flow to the vagina and the tissue around the urethra. So you would get up less often. it would be better for the tissue. The tissue would be healthier. Your urination would be better. It would be better for your brain on the go forward also, and for your heart and for your bones. So there'd be a number of benefits. To the question that you asked, it would be beneficial so that you wouldn't get up so many times during the night, which is not great because then you don't sleep well. With the pellet therapy, you would sleep better and get up less often.
And would there be any side effects, since I once had a nodule and my family history is longevity, but cancer seems to be the big killer in our family.
What kind of cancer?
Does that affect? Well, all kinds. My two grandmothers died of breast cancer. My own mother died of brain cancer.
Right. So the testosterone pellets would do a number of things. One, they reduce your risk for breast cancer, so that's a good thing for you, although you're sort of getting out of that age for breast cancer at 80.
Right.
So I'm not so concerned about that. I'm more concerned about your bones. I'm more concerned about you getting up. There's absolutely no risk to your thyroid from taking the pellet therapy at all.
But you were saying something, doctor, about thyroid is good for you or something.
It's very good for you. It's very.
I have been, believe it or not, this thyroid pill that I take, I've taken the same amount, 75 milligrams, because they used to call it 0.075 micrograms, which was the same thing.
Milligram, right.
So I've been taking the same dosage for all these years. I never have to change it because they check it every 6 months.
Well, Sharon?
Once a year, yeah. So what's to do with the thyroid pill and
well, I would continue my thyroid. If their doctor is saying your thyroid is optimal, that's one of the things that at BioT we look at. And then you need your other hormones checked, and then everything would be optimal.
So Sharon, if you have any more questions there, seriously, we'd be happy to take your number and have a BioT doctor call you if you want, or someone from BioT. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Mike, what's happening? Mike, hi. What's going on?
I have a question about selling a house, but I also have a question about testosterone injections.
Okay, do the testosterone first.
I don't have the money to go to a place like BioT. Should the doctor be able to do it if you're on Medicaid or Medicare?
Actually, we don't, not really, because Medicare will not pay for the pellet therapy. They'll pay again for your lab work and your consult.
And so will Medicaid.
And so will Medicaid, but nonetheless, they're not going to pay for your pellet therapy. So we, in your case, you're either going to have to save up the money, but it's going to run you probably $700, which if you think about it, for 5 months, it's a little bit over $100 a month. To really get your life back. So I don't, for me, we've tried to keep it as cheap as possible. And people paying $5 for Starbucks, it's $150 a month. So it's less than a Starbucks a day to really get your health back.
I heard the lady say she got a shot from her doctor. Could my doctor give me a shot rather than pellet?
Well, sure he can.
Sure, and that would be covered sometimes under your insurance and Medicaid, Medicare.
And it's better than nothing.
And it is better, so done right. So I would see the doctor. I wouldn't go to a low-T center that's not going to optimize it. But if they're going to use the shots, just know the best way to do shots is at least splitting the dose and doing it twice a week. If someone's giving it to you every 2 weeks, they don't know how to do the shots.
Or every week even, really 2 times a week. And you could even do 3 if you can. But here's the deal. It's better than nothing. The pellet is just, in my opinion, based on my personal experience, I've done the cream, I've done the shots, and I'm doing the pellets now. And pellets, for me, the absolute best. And I never have to think about it. And also, I can tell it's working because right at about 4 months or a little after, I notice it. I think, wow, you know what? This really is not all in my head. I go and get that. And okay, what about selling your
morning about a year and a half ago? I'm 66, and up until a year and a half ago, I've felt for years like I'm only in my 30s. And when I woke up that morning, I felt like I was, I don't know, I just felt different all of a sudden, like I was 10 or 20 years older, and that hasn't gone away very much in the last year and a half. So I haven't been checked out for it, but I assume it.
Well, everyone should have their hormones balanced. Everyone. I mean, unless you seriously really want to just age and die, and not so gracefully, you should do it. You don't have to do it. But Mike, really, I mean, it's like maintaining a car. I mean, you would never think of not replenishing the fluids. You just have to maintain your health, and it's not automatic. What about the house now?
I heard you talking with Mr. Duran on the radio last week, and you were telling us about one of his secrets to getting the best price on a house.
Right.
My question is, I thought that if you listed a house, that you couldn't raise the price. You had to sell it at the price you listed it.
No, it's not true at all. Here's the trick, okay? People who let me do this, and I'll come right back. And I'll talk about that specifically, okay? And I'm going to make my producer happy and my director here, the push buttoner, Brutus. He's a mean guy when I don't do this. I got to do my commercial right now. Brutus, I'm doing it. All right? Brent Ivinson, Ideal Home Loans, on the phone to talk about big changes in credit scoring coming up. Ideal Home Loans. Brent, I should know about these changes. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Well, what we're seeing is they are going to change the scoring model later on this year. Early fall is the anticipated launch date of this. If you've got a balance and it's not going down, or if you are continuing to access more and more credit as you're trying to make ends meet, or if you're somebody who hasn't made any headway on your balances and is shuffling balances around,
you're going to get a low score.
Yeah, they're going to really start to hit your score. So, you know, as we've talked about, the average homeowner's got $17,000 in credit card debt. That's balances they're carrying. Don't wait for this change to take effect later on this year. Rates are great now. Equity is up. Rates are low. Take advantage of getting that stuff consolidated and taken care of ahead of this scoring change before you're going to put in a situation where you may not be able to do anything.
And it's very important that you not only do that, but if you can lower your rates, lower your credit card bills, you have a way of consolidating them with the lower interest rates and then paying them off faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is. And I know that you guys will counsel people how to do that. So you can work the credit cards in but not carry them for 30 years and still get them paid off quicker. So they have all kinds of solutions. Get in to see them for loans and for restructuring, for whatever you need when it comes to home financing. And here's what it is, okay? It's either refinancing or purchase money. They can close in 3 weeks or less. 303-867-7000. 303-867-7000 or idealhomeloans.com.
A good shutdown would help make this country's wallet great again.
Believe me.
It would also make time for a nice trip down to Mar-a-Lago.
One of the ladies that you guys talked to on the air, we said you guys would call her. I just don't know who did this to. Okay.
Is that the old lady?
No, she hung up before we could get her info. She was hilarious. Like, her little voice was so cute.
Take care. It's a huge topic. You know, people want to know.
Well, plus we have
people already on
we have a huge audience.
So how many people are listening to us right now? Don't give me the cue.
About 24.5.
From Santa Fe all the way up to
24.5.
There's a lot of people listening to drive around.
Every quarter hour, I get a change. I get so much. I do truly have one of the biggest widespread audiences because of my subject matter. It's the longest running radio show ever in the country. There's no other show gone this long. I've been on for 38 years. Actually, that's the continuous. I've actually been on longer than that, but continuously this show. What am I doing? I'm sorry.
Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
You know who I call when I need plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains? You know who I call. Plumbline Services on my referral list at referralist.com. You know, home services are very, very important, and that's why they get you in, and they do it on time, and they give you pricing up front, and that price will not change, and they guarantee 100% satisfaction. Listen to this cool one with electric. This is a special. For $149, they will find, fix any electrical problem, or the call is free, and you get a full written report. So think about that. If it's a really complicated problem, you'll get a full written report on what it is, even if they can't fix it for that $149. But about 85% of the time, when they find, they can fix for $149, and that includes parts. Find, fix, or free, nothing to lose for just $149. They also have free second opinions for all major quotes. Listen, don't get a water heater, a panel upgrade, or a furnace unless you really need it. And Plumline is honest, and they will tell you if you truly need it or not. And if you do need it, they have specials that will blow your socks off. More than $2,000 savings in a furnace AC system. Give them a call for all of these plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drain needs. 303-586-1086. 303-586-1086.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom.
So Gunther, thank you for coming in and bugging me that day. I like that. Or did we? Why did we pitch you? Did somebody pitch you?
Raymond?
Oh, she called you?
Yeah, she said because I told her that I was looking for somebody because we did a lot of work with April Zesball on April Zesball and KOA Morning Drive, right?
By AARP and the Ad Council.
Art of Granite is truly an art in granite and all solid surface and stone countertops. Mitch Floria started this company as a tiny little company with $300 in his pocket, new in America. And he lived the American dream, and now he is spreading the wealth with hiring many beautiful people that work for him. And guess what? They all work for him, no subcontractors. So when you hire him, you hire a great team that have been with him a long time. And here's how it works. He sells you all the material when it comes to countertops at wholesale, or you can buy it anywhere using his wholesale account. He only charges for the fabrication and installation. He even tears out and hauls away all the old stuff free. And when you have the kitchen done, he does the bathroom free. He also has cabinets direct from the manufacturer. All you have to do is call him and listen to this. When you do, he can give you a price on the phone on that first call with just some measurements and maybe a photograph. Then what happens is you pick out the specific stuff, and he will hone in that estimate and get it exact. Then he starts the templating and installation, and you will love it. The entire process, 1 to 4 weeks, depending on the complexity. He services all of the Front Range and into the mountain communities 7 days a week. 303-386-5919, 303-386-5919, artofgranite.net.
The Glenn Beck Program.
Convent of nuns in the Middle Ages began to meow like cats, and the villagers called in the police and the...
The army came to the convent just because the nuns were meowing, apparently causing quite a disturbance. And so they surrounded and said, "Stop meowing, or we're going to come in and
kill all of you." And they stopped. The headline might be better than the story.
Glenn Beck, weeknights at 7 on 630 KHOW.
You know, I'm like a human guinea pig here. You hear me talking about BioT, and I'm doing BioT, and I'm truly on the program, and I love it. And even if I wasn't their spokesperson, I would stay on it. Well, I'm also a patient of Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Now, years ago when I had this mastoiditis and I was left with tinnitus, I found out about these guys through Tom Tancredo. And I went there, and I love them. They have treatments for tinnitus, and now they have a permanent solution to tinnitus. If your tinnitus is in a certain frequency range, they can eradicate it. And I'm on this treatment right now for 6 weeks, and then you get to keep it in case you ever have any reoccurring instances. They also do hearing aids and hearing instruments of all kinds, some that are built in to help mask tinnitus, or just normal hearing aids. Whatever your problem is, they can handle it when it comes to the ears. I urge you to call Dr. Patty or Dr. Lisa at Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, 303-534-0163, 303-534-0163.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the word WIN to
200-200. You'll receive a confirmation text. Standard message and data rates apply. That's
Very loud.
to 200-200.
Hey, howdy.
Frank Duran, the real estate man. Nobody's better. If you need to buy or sell real estate, you're going to love him. And he has so many testimonies to find out. Just Google him, Frank Duran. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Everyone at the Troubleshooter Network uses him. Okay, we have a lot of BioT questions. Our guest today, BioT, but this is a serious one with about thyroid cancer. Go ahead, Linda.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Linda, and welcome to the show with Dr. Gary Donovitz with BioT Medical. Go ahead.
I am a thyroid cancer survivor. They're pretty much giving me the all clear.
Good. Good.
I'm happy. I don't have to go through those nasty thyrogen shots again. It's like, man, swing your TSH from 0.1 to over 120 in 3 days, and my doctor looks at me like, what do you mean, you felt it?
Yeah. No one knows thyroid unless you go through it, and it can be devastating.
Oh. Yeah, well, I mean, when they put me on Synthroid, I was allergic to that. I've also had blood clots from birth control pills. So,
but right now, though, you're clear, and you're taking synthetic thyroid, right?
Yeah, I'm on a generic.
Okay.
Yep.
So what is your question about BioT?
I would really like to try to do something because I'm all over the place. I mean, when this whole thyroid cancer kicked in, I went into perimenopause, full-blown menopause, to the point where, this is, sorry, really gross, but I mean, honest to God, I had my period for over 6 months. I was hemorrhaging. I had to have an ovary removed.
Okay, so right now, are you pretty stable?
I think I am.
Okay. Why?
My husband may say otherwise, but
how is your libido?
It's not there.
Okay, so what would this do for her? Post-cancer patient, she's kind of going through menopause, and she's not feeling it.
Right, so she actually needs all of her hormones optimized. I doubt very much that your thyroid is actually optimized based on what you're telling me. Your energy would be better once we got your testosterone optimized, but you may also need estrogen. You may also need thyroid in a different compound. The combination of getting all three of those optimized would improve your sex drive, your energy level, your sleep. You'd be able to lose weight.
And future cancer risk, too.
Yeah, and you reduce your risk for breast cancer, reduce your risk for colon cancer. You have no worries in terms of your thyroid cancer coming back from the pellet therapy. So it's much better. Why not just get your life back and not deal with the stuff that you're dealing with?
Okay, well, one of the reasons I never had children was I was told you get pregnant, you die. I actually had a doctor say that to me.
You get pregnant and you die?
I had a doctor say that to me. I had blood clots from birth control
I don't know
pills.
exactly what he meant by that, but okay.
I basically was told I'm an extreme high risk of stroking out if I ever got pregnant. So,
do you have high blood pressure?
I've ever done.
Do you have high blood pressure, Linda?
Because of what they had me on a very high level of thyroid meds that put my blood pressure.
All right, Linda, you really need, seriously, you need to see someone. And I would even like, off the air for Dr. Donovitz and Gunther here to maybe brainstorm and see somebody who they think would be especially good because of the thyroid issue. Maybe they know some people they would send you to. They're all good, but some have other specialties. And for example, they have urologists that do testosterone. They have general practitioners, family docs, and maybe there's one in the chain we can pass your way. Would you get her contact information, Suzanne, and we'll get back to her and get her email address? There's nothing wrong with asking that, is there, Gunther? If you want to have a doctor who's more bent toward one thing or another, because you have a variety of doctors, they're not all the same.
No, whenever I speak with prospective patients, do you want to see a male doctor or a female doctor?
Yeah.
What are you comfortable with? I mean, we've got internal medicine physicians, family practice.
And what comes to mind with the thyroid? All your docs are qualified, and they all have the training to balance everything.
Right.
But with the post-cancer care, would there be a doctor that stands out? I mean, we don't have to say it on the air, but...
No, but the main idea is that what you hear from the callers that have been calling in today is, I've been told, or my doctor has said, right? And so, a doctor's going to be down on whatever they're not up on. And
that's well, you're serious. They will. That's a great way to put it. They're going to be down on things they don't understand.
Right. So
absolutely.
As soon as they learn and understand, then they go, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known this 10, 15 years ago, so I would have treated my patients differently.
Milo.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Hi. Yes, I was listening to your radio show and, heard everything about the overactive bladder at night, getting up 2 or 3 times a night, and that is me. But I am just 40 years old, and this has been going on for a few years, actually.
Yeah, it can happen.
And a few years ago, I was getting worried about it, so I asked my doctor to do a prostate exam. He said it was fine, just an overactive bladder. Is this common for somebody my age to be dealing with this? Getting up 2 or 3
When was
times
the last
a night?
time? When was the last time you actually had a prostate exam?
That was actually, I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. I'm just 40 this year.
And what about blood work?
Blood work every year that I get an exam.
And your PSA is low?
PSA, they usually say all my numbers are good.
Yeah, when doctors, here's a problem, Milo. When doctors say numbers are good, there's 2 ways numbers can be good. One is good within range for your age, which means, according to the general population, here is how everyone is aging and dying. That is normal, but not necessarily good. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Now,
Yes, sir.
it could be normal, it could be natural for your age, but not good. So you need a doctor who looks at those numbers and says, oh, you need this, this, and this based on the data. No opinions, no politics, no religion, just the data. And then get past that normal stuff, because what some people call normal is not normal. How old are you? 40?
40 years old.
If you had testosterone, 600-700, wouldn't they say that was good for him? Or 800? Wouldn't they say that was all right for him?
Sure, they would have said that.
But it's not.
They would say it's normal for your age. It is normal for your age.
But it's not. So what I'm getting at is, Milo, find a BioT doc and go on to biotmedical.com. I don't mean, listen, I'm not here to try to sell these patients, but you're asking questions directly that are answered with those docs, because I had all of them too. Hey, Al Aramis is with us. And Al, are you doing this? I know you talked to me about it. Did you ever go to a BioT doc yet?
Absolutely. I actually have the pellets and everything.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I know Al. He's my car mechanic.
Yeah. Well, I turned him on to this, or did you? Did you tell him about it before me?
I think he knew what I was doing, and I think I handed him some information.
Oh, okay.
Right, Al? I think I did.
I thought I took credit for this, Al. Come on, man. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Because you were looking so good and had tons of energy.
Thank you.
And I asked you point blank.
No, you did.
What are you doing?
I know.
Remember?
Hey, listen, talking about keeping things maintained, okay? Let's talk about the inspection, and then I want to talk about getting it cleaned, because my air conditioning never worked better than after you did that purging. And what was amazing is my car was, when you did it, wasn't even that old. It was only 2 years old. So what are you going to do for this inspection?
So we see it so often. People just drive, and the AC goes on, and they use it. Just use it. Well, after time, you lose the refrigerant, and it loses its ability to cool. And you'll notice that when it's really hot out, you turn the air, how long does it take to cool the car down? Well, the only way you can know if you got the right amount of refrigerant is to put the gauges on the car, do the duct temperature readings, all this stuff. Well, that takes time, and it costs money, because you usually pay a mechanic. Well, for your listeners, I'm going to do that at no cost.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a great deal. We also want to look when you get that smell. It's that nasty smell.
Yes.
That's mildew, that's mold, that's dirt in your air intake system, which is called your evaporator.
Right.
We're going to clean that. So let's take a look at it. I'll tell you what you need. You'll make your decision whether you want me to do it, and I'll give you a great deal. 2
locations. Now, remember that inspection's free, and then if you get that cleaning, it'll increase the longevity of your system in addition to giving you clean air, beautiful air, and more efficiency. Now, 303 Pro Auto is the phone number. It's also the website if you put a .com on it. 303proauto.com. 2 locations near Evans and I-25 near Bowles in Santa Fe. And speaking of cars, by the way, this is Nick. This guy starts Flexident like years ago. He's been doing this like 40 years, right? And now we've had some hail, and he's busy, so he's opening up an extra location. Now, the best way to fix hail damage is the paintless dent repair. Don't even think about drilling and pulling and Bondo. Don't think about it, because it ruins the value of your car. Paintless dent repair is the only way to go. And if there's too many dings for that, demand replacement parts, okay? No fill with the Bondo. Flexident's the best. They have highly skilled, certified paintless dent repair techs. The founder is master certified. Nick, door dings, not just hail, by the way, door dings and dents he can fix, all without disturbing the original finish. You won't even know it's been done. Downtime is minimized, 1 to 3 days, and Flexident is the preferred method by insurance companies. They happily pay it. Call now and save for Martino listeners $500 off your job. 303-619-6273. 303-619-6273. FlexidentColorado.com.
This report is brought to you by Discover Student Loans.
Police are on the scene of a very serious accident southbound I-25 at Arapahoe Road. We have jamming all the way back to Hampton. Northbound I-25 is moderately heavy between Santa Fe all the way up to Sports Authority Field. Southbound is slow.
I know, Al.
Between I
So we're going to do
Sports Authority Field. And
Fuller, right now?
Let's do Salisbury and Fuller along. Between Cherry Creek Dam and I-25. General weather, mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high topping out right around 63 degrees. Look for a low temp tonight. All right, let's do Salisbury and with your traffic weather. I'm Bill Jones, 630 KL.
Yeah, you could take him as a giant. Yeah. I thought it was Alfonso.
Yeah, I just have one commercial, one more, couple more.
Earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
There's an area of law that I refer David Salisbury to. People don't have wills, and it's amazing to me. Now, you probably don't need a will if you're pretty young and you don't have anything at all, but if you're married, you have kids, wills can be very simple, very inexpensive. Also, estate planning, if you are growing older or in your midlife and you're thinking, you know what, I ought to set something up. Some people go so far as trusts or beneficiary deeds. There are different ways to convey property to avoid probate. And there are times you don't need to worry about it. David Salisbury can let you know where you stand. 720-493-3911. Initial consultation's free, and then he'll tell you exactly what you need and what it will cost. But it's the kind of law you don't want to put off. 720-493-3911. Now, of course, getting an estate planning attorney is a voluntary thing. This next attorney, I hope you never need, because he does personal injury. That means you were injured and you're looking for someone to pay. And that's our system, of course. If someone is negligent, they do owe you, or their insurance company does. But trust me, it's not going to be easy. Insurance companies will fight you tooth and nail, and you need someone to fight for you. John Fuller is the man. 303-597-4500. An experienced attorney when it comes to fighting in court or settling outside. That's John Fuller, 303-597-4500. He's also on my referral list at referrallist.com.
it's me, your heart. High blood pressure is serious, and if you think I'm just going to keep ticking away, you're wrong. I can quit whenever I want, but I like my job. Just treat me better. Maybe we can do some exercise on occasion? After all, we're in this together.
Don't let your heart quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
The media establishes a narrative. The narrative is what gets stuck in people's minds, and then it never changes.
Michael Brown.
That's how they control what people think. And that's why you, yes you, have to get out of the cocoon. You gotta get out of it. Because they will, and you allow them to control what you think.
The Michael Brown Show. Later today at 4 on 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
All right, you're going to think I'm not telling you the truth here because I've told you about everyone that I use on my referral list. I'm serious. Aurora Orthodontics, I'm not using, but my kids are. They've enrolled in the program. And for a small monthly fee every month, you get orthodontics, the new orthodontics. Now, what I mean by that is called NEO, New Early Orthodontics, Dr. Kent Lawson. If you have kids, please listen because this could, change everything. As they say, a game changer. You know, doctors usually treat, or orthodontists, they treat kids over a period of 5 or 6 years, and it's very expensive. The new orthodontics, it's a different method. You start very early with these mouthpieces. They're kind of pliable, and you put them in, and they're graduated over time, and they wear them at night only. And it naturally expands palates, moves teeth, without surgery or extractions. In fact, with children, he never does palate expanding surgery. He never does any extractions. He can do it all naturally. Now listen to this. A big percentage of his people don't even need braces at times because those mouthpieces have done the job. And when kids do need braces, it's only for like 1 or 2 years. So here's what you need to do. Call Dr. Kent Lawson. You will save money. It's a fraction of the cost of normal orthodontics. Not only save money, though, you will give your kids a lasting smile the natural way. It's called New Early Orthodontics. And by the way, he has a similar system for adults. Similar, not the same, but you ought to call about either one. 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100.
Need a new roof? Get the best. ExcelRoofing.com. Michael Brown, afternoons 4 to 7.
Maxine Waters now says the Attorney General is a racist who wants to keep minorities in their place. That kind of rhetoric is why she's now the darling of Democrats. Yeah, and she's contemptible. Join me at 4 o'clock for more Irreverent Talk Radio.
I've been all commercials this hour.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Let's talk. BioT is here. Dr. Gary Donovitz, the founder. And doctor, do you call yourself, are you the president, CEO, owner? What are you?
I'm the CEO and the medical director.
Okay, CEO and medical director, and it's BioT Medical. And you've been around how long as a company?
8 years.
Okay. Let's talk to Ray. Ray, welcome. What's going on? Ray? I'm going to put that on hold. You might want to check to see if he's still there. Joe, what's going on with you, Joe?
Yeah, I've been listening to the radio here, and I had my prostate removed about 4 years ago, and I've been, undetectable for whatever they check on. And,
so you had cancer, I take it?
Yeah, it was 20%, and I just had it taken out.
Well, I'm happy you're doing well. What is your question?
Well, I was wondering, is BioT an option for, so there's no testosterone, and so your muscles kind of atrophy a little bit and strength goes down. I was just wondering if that's an option.
Absolutely. The testosterone would help maintain and grow muscle mass, so that's what it does. It'd also be protective to your heart, which is much more likely to get you than your prostate. Now that you've done really well after your surgery and your I presume that your screening test, your PSA, has been normal. So absolutely getting testosterone pellets would be beneficial for your overall health.
Okay. Because when I asked my doctor about it, he says, well, that's life. So
what's life? Oh, well, yeah.
That's the wrong doctor to ask.
Yeah, that's the wrong doctor. It's biotmedical.com, and it's B-I-O and then T-E. To remember that, Gunther told me the T is for testosterone, E is for estrogen or estradiol. But here's the thing. They don't do just those two things. They balance your hormones and take care of your body. So is Ray there now? Ray? Are you? Okay, I'm just going to hang up. Thank you. Bob, what's happening? Bob?
Yeah, I'm here. Tom,
what's going on, man? What's happening?
Oh, good. Long-time listener here.
Thank you. Thank you. What's?
Yeah, I currently have prostate cancer.
You currently have it?
Yep.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's real small, but it's. I'm just doing the watchful waiting.
What does that mean? They're not doing any treatment?
Well, I'm on hormone therapy, and that's it.
What does that mean? What hormone therapy?
Well, I think it reduces my
testosterone, right?
Testosterone, yeah.
They're actually giving you therapy to reduce your testosterone?
Correct.
Do you know what that drug is, Bob?
You know, I don't. I was just in the car and I heard about it, and I thought, I didn't know if this...
Is this a pill they're giving you or a shot?
It's a pill I take every day.
Yeah, that's not that's not going to be to reduce the testosterone. That's either going to be a Arimidex, which is going to reduce your estrogen in an attempt to shrink that tumor, but that does not preclude you from getting testosterone therapy. Okay, so you can still get pellets, which would still be protective to everything else. And in fact, as I said earlier in the show, there's a Harvard professor who's now treating people with the same kind of cancer that you have, low grade. Very small prostate cancers with testosterone, and more than half of those tumors are going away over the next 2 years.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yep.
So, and I didn't hear it, but maybe you don't want to talk about it. What would be the cost of it?
Oh, we talked about it 5 times.
Okay.
Here's what it ranges. If you had to do it, you do it either 2 or 3 times a year. Do you have any that have to do it 4 times a year, like every 3 months?
Males are going to be every 4 to 5 months, so 2 or 3 times a year. It's going to cost you about $700 each time the pellets are placed, total cost, and that's it. So again, $700 2 or 3 times a year to get your life back, to get your health back, and improve your quality of life, and not hurt your prostate cancer at all.
All right, 303-713-TALK. I will attempt to take as many calls as I possibly can. I want to tell you now about Concrete Lift and Stabilization. This is a company that advertises with us. It's a small company and advertises with us because he wanted people to know that in this business, it depends on who you call as to what you get. In other words, when it comes to the type of lifting and stabilization. There is a mud jacking and there's a polymer jacking. And he's one of the few, in fact, I don't know of any others, that do both because the equipment is very expensive for that polyjacking. He does both, so he'll give you a free evaluation of your concrete slabs or driveways or sidewalks and the sinking and the cracking, and he'll let you know which system will work better. Sometimes the polyjacking works because only a little is needed and it expands dramatically and supports the concrete. He can then help you through all of it. Once it's lifted and put together, it can easily be patched. Give him a call for a free assessment of your concrete problem. It's interesting the way you reach him. Just take your smartphone, hit pound 250 send, and then say the keyword concrete lift when they answer. That's it, pound 250 send.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center. This report is brought to you by your local Ford store. The worst traffic jam
we have right now is a crash on 25 southbound at Arapahoe Road. A very serious crash there. Backing you up all the way to Hampton. Just jammed up back there. Also backing up traffic onto 225 southbound.
And now they have oversold it. I noticed they're oversold.
25 northbound is moderately heavy between Santa Fe up to Sports Authority Field.
I've had
and
sponsors on for 20 years.
Westbound.
All right,
Rockies in 30. To York. Denver weather mostly sunny this afternoon and a high topping out right around 63. Look for a low tonight near 44 degrees. 55 in Denver right now. With your traffic and weather.
15 seconds for Rockies, and all you have left is Paradigm. We'll do that about a minute and a half after Rockies will be good.
We find all the safety and tech you need.
And yeah, it's ridiculous how they pack this.
It's too much, too much.
It makes the show sound good. Very brave sound bad. It's this. All right, here we go. Coming in about 2 seconds.
It's your local Ford store.
Rockies Autos, 63rd and Federal, cars, trucks, and vans, and SUVs, whatever you need, Rockies has it. But, you know, I send you...
Rockies, not just for the selection, it's the process. It's very simple. really it shouldn't be considered special, but it is. Like putting prices on a car, yeah, they do it. They're proud of them. They want you to compare, but please shop there. They also have 40 lenders to choose from, so you can originate any of those loans there, and they're approved before you leave. And then, of course, they have the better pricing for trades because they sell most of them right there. If you're going to shop, shop, but then go to a family-friendly, kid-friendly, and even pet-friendly store at 63rd and Federal, RockiesAutos.com, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, 303-426-4646. Stop high energy bill.
So Mark left the building. That's unusual that he missed the show, huh? But we had a lot of people, you know. I'm just wondering if he posted our video from the highlights. Did you check?
I have checked here and stuff.
Here, I'll check. I don't think he did. That's going to give us video every day.
Every day it's video?
Yes, yes.
Monday,
It's amazing the views that we get on some of these things. I was saying, like for TV, for example, Colorado would come in anywhere from 2,500 to 3,200, depending on what day. Okay, and they'll deliver about 7,500 views, and then we took some of our stuff that we've done short little bits, and for $72 on Facebook, we got like 10,000 views, and we get way more engagement. But people don't think about it; they just think of all the conventional stuff. $70, we got all that. Remind me, Paradigm.
First talk station. Let's do something. This is Talk Radio 630 KHOW.
I love it when I get positive reviews about the companies I represent, and I get a lot of them about Paradigm Interiors, even though they're relatively new with me and on the referral list. People are astounded at the selection and the process. You see, they don't have a big giant warehouse. They have a big, beautiful showroom, and they can show you samples of all the latest flooring, of course. The carpets, even waterproof carpet by Shaw. They have laminates and vinyl luxury tile and hardwood, but they can get it within 2 or 3 days, so really it doesn't matter that they stock or not. And it's all first quality, no seconds and thirds. And they help you from shopping to paying to all the way through the shopping and buying to the installation where they have a supervisor for your job, and he will communicate with you daily. This is a great process. You got to go check them out. Paradigm Interiors. Yeah, they have the value of the big warehouses, but they have the mom and pop feel when it comes to just being taken care of. All flooring. Flooring Denver since 2003. 303-630-9204. 630-9204.
A good shutdown would help make this country's wallet great again. Believe me. It would also make time for a nice trip down to Mar-a-Lago. Play a little golf, have a beautiful meal. Terrific. To make your wallet great again, never shut down your radio, okay?
Listen to win $1,000 every hour on the hour. Every weekday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Of all the wallets, mine is obviously the greatest.
$1,000.
But yours could be pretty good too, okay?
On 630 KHOW. Sean Hannity.
Obama's going to get $400,000 to speak at a healthcare conference for investment banking. I guess Obama forgot about what he said about Wall Street full of fat cat bankers.
Hannity, today at 1 on 630 KHOW.
Well, our video is on Facebook about yesterday's appearance. Now, you can watch the whole show, but we have some highlights Mark posted at facebook.com/referral list. And that's referral list with one L, I think. Yeah. Okay, and also it's on YouTube as well. 303-713-TALK. Let me take these calls. We're running out of time here. And Donna, go ahead. What's happening, Donna?
Hi, yes, I heard the doctor talking about for the estrogen hormone therapy for women.
Yes.
And my mom had breast cancer, and it was determined by the Mayo Clinic that it was hormone induced, probably because back when she had a hysterectomy in her 30s, you know, she was on supplements and all that stuff. But we were told as her daughters not to, take any kind of estrogen or anything like that. And so far, my sisters and I are all good, and we're like 61 to 66. But I have a lot of the other symptoms he mentioned, and I just was wondering if it could be helpful without...
We get it. What about estrogen-induced cancer? I've heard about that, and they say, I can't have estrogen at all.
Right. So the problem is, number one, estradiol itself doesn't cause breast cancer. It's kind of an old myth. Other estrogens can. A lot of women back in that time were taking synthetic estrogens, which are very high in some of the bad estrogens, particularly ones that
What would pellet therapy
like
do?
Premarin. For her, the testosterone would actually reduce your risk for breast cancer significantly, by maybe 60%.
Would it raise her estradiol?
No, we would give her estrogen, even with a family history, because even with testosterone and estradiol, we would reduce her risk for breast cancer some 60%. That's been looked at in multiple studies. That's not just for BioT, but that's for everybody. So it would be beneficial to you because you're in that age where you could get breast cancer. Why not reduce it?
Okay.
And is it about the same cost for women with the estrogen as it was what you mentioned earlier?
The estrogen doesn't add anything to the cost. So for women, it's going to be $350 again every 3 or 4 months.
Now, it's more expensive for men. Why?
Well, because they get a lot more testosterone. Women may get 125 milligrams, and Tom, you probably get about 2,000 milligrams. Sure.
Okay. Now, Mike, what's going on, Mike?
I'm waiting for you to answer the question about raising the price of a home sale.
Yes. Doggone it. I am so sorry I didn't come back to you. Here it is. If you ask for a high price, you'll get less inquiries, and therefore that higher price will have to be reduced, which shows weakness on the market, and it always ends up with people offering less. If you give a good lower price, not too low, but a good lower price that will attract multiple offers, you'll almost always get more than one full price offer. If you get more than one full price offer, then what you said does not come into play. You can raise the price because you have multiple offers, and you simply let them go to war. Oftentimes, listing it lower, getting multiple offers, ultimately get you a higher price than listing it way higher and having to reduce it. And that's one of the little tricks. All right. Dr. Donovitz, thank you for being here, and thank you, Mark Jones from Top Springs Inspector. I really appreciate it. Now, biotmedical.com is the site. And, of course, you can always find them on my referral list at referralist.com. You can find the show, the podcast, tell them about it on Facebook and on YouTube and at referralist.com. We're out of time, folks. Remember, I say this and I mean it. Save all your problems for me. Two things happen when you get a DUI, a criminal charge, and a civil proceeding against your license. Get an experienced, aggressive attorney who can help you in both areas. Joseph A. Lazzara, 303-429-6200. That's 429-6200. Lazzara can help whether falsely accused or just plain stupid. Either way, you're entitled to a defense. Get the best and up to $500 off. Joseph A. Lazzara, 303-429-6200. That's 429-6200.
Consumers Real Estate Show.